Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode number 7 of Straight Outta Stanton with me, JustCheg, and this fellow over there, MasoKast. How are you doing, Maso?
Good. I got a haircut.
Yeah, I can see that. Actually, no comment on that until now.
Yeah. It's Leah's third time at attempting cutting hair, and I think it turned out pretty
Wait, he
good
was
given that it's
home?
like
Oh, I did not even figure it out. That's actually amazing.
yeah,
You did
yeah,
good.
yeah, I think so too.
I
Given
also
that
had a
she just like
haircut, but
watched some YouTube videos and then bought some clippers and was like, I'm gonna cut your hair and it might be bad. And I was like, all right, sure. I'll just wear a hat if it ends up being real bad.
I had a haircut as well. Nothing changes though. I don't really have hair.
Mhm.
I'm gonna let you do the thing.
Oh, kind of roboting out on my end. Doing the thing. Crap.
The thing with number of
Oh yeah. Right.
there we
Okay.
go.
We hit 50 subs on our YouTube channel. Thanks, guys. That's pretty sweet. Here's to the next 50. Cheers.
Cheers. That is actually amazing. Yeah, I think we're both excited, and we talk about the numbers before each show, and it's really kind of, for the lack of the other word, kind of heartwarming to see the numbers going up, and you know, feels good, man. I'm really happy with what's happening with the podcast. Gotta say that.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's
then
fun to just like, I mean, both of us, we just kind of like come on here and bullshit about Star Citizen and everything else for like a long time and just kind of like have a good time. And it's kind of cool to see that like people people like that.
yeah,
People
some
also
people
want to
enjoy.
just like hang out
Yeah,
and listen to Star Citizen shit.
amazing. Alrighty,
Amazing.
so I'm gonna start with the news, and there's a lot of news. We had a very busy week, and I kind of feel like the news this time will be the longest
Most of the
topic.
show.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
of the show. So first of all, some, I would say, bad news, I guess, which this has nothing to do with Star Citizen itself. This is just about Straight Outta Stanton. Last episode, we talked about bringing the podcast on some other platforms, such as Spotify. I can tell you right now, it's not going to happen. There's multiple reasons for this. First of all, you have to pay for something like that, and since we're not really monetizing this, or you never see any interruption in our program or anything like that. Not that we can't even do it if we wanted to, and it already takes a huge chunk of our time. And I wouldn't lie to you if I say that it takes about 7-8 hours of our Sunday.
Well, part of that is because we just bullshit too much. We
Sure.
should like I mean we've said this a few times. We should probably just push record as soon as we start
Yeah, or
talking.
at least stream. Like I think we can
Yeah,
stream with that. That would be okay.
yeah. Go
Um,
live.
but yeah, the thing is and also the podcast itself is very long. So it goes from the original idea was 2.5 hours, but it ends up being 4 hours long.
Yeah, we've never hit. We've never been 2.5 hours.
Never. The problem is, for all this, you have to get an RSS code. You actually have to pay, and then you pay by hour, and usually it's like 2 hours a month, which that's never gonna work for us.
Yeah.
So we decided that that's not gonna be a thing. And I gotta say, unfortunately, I was kind of looking forward to seeing it now on Spotify. We are at the spot where we could, compare the something with YouTube.
Yeah.
However, if anyone who is listening to this knows that there actually is a way to get a free RSS uh, code or whatever it is,
Well,
and
and very specifically one that allows for like 3+ hour
yeah, I would even say
episodes.
4. So if there's a
Yeah.
service like that, please let us know. And even if you think something works, it doesn't matter if you're wrong. I will gladly run a research. It's not a problem,
Yeah.
and see if we can use it or not.
And
All
we've
right,
tried SoundCloud as well, just by the way.
we
And
tried
it's the
SoundCloud.
same
Yeah,
same kind of situation for files this big and for episodes this long. Uh,
just have
it
to pay
requires
extra, which
a fairly significant influx in cash that I just am not convinced. I'm not convinced that the value's there yet, you know.
And
But
just to all of our friendly downvoters on Reddit, this is what I was talking the
YouTube
first
talk
time.
show.
Yeah. This is what I was saying for the first time when someone said just make an RSS and just upload it somewhere. And this is where I say, like, this is free content for those who want to listen to it and have fun. Unfortunately, you can't just have a podcast somewhere else
Well, we could
with RSS
if we were doing like hour-long episodes, you know.
once per
But
month.
yeah, once per month.
Well, that's what, yeah. So,
But if we're doing 3+ hours every week, yeah.
all right, so we're done
Unfortunate.
with that for now. No, unless if we ever find a way of uploading it for free, sure, I'm down to do that, and yeah, no problem.
Or even for just less money than Spotify or SoundCloud was going to charge us, to be honest. But yeah,
Okay. I'd like to keep it free because we do it for free, so why not? You know,
sure.
we can do it for free on YouTube, so whatever.
Or now, hear me out here. I
I'm listening.
hear that there are apps that you could download for your phone that take the YouTube video and they
Turn
just
into audio.
just strip the audio off of it.
Yep.
I've heard that that's a thing. I mean, it sounds like black magic to me. So, and it's probably way too difficult. But you know,
Very advanced technology.
that was sarcasm. It was sarcasm. Okay, okay, I'm done now.
Literally, when we were setting this up, when you ask for audio for RSS, you just send the freaking. You don't even need an application. You like, there's a website that will turn your video into for free into a MP3. That's it. It just downloads an MP3 and you're done. It's not that hard, really.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into the news about the game.
Fucking Reddit.
Which is kind of funny because we get like most of the news from Reddit. So those of you who are on the Reddit and are not being, I'm not going to use any words.
Well, let's
thank you.
be honest. The people who are on Reddit and don't enjoy this show probably aren't watching right now.
True.
So,
For you guys who are, thank you so much.
yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. First of all, so we had a patch. They brought a lot of gameplay. Well, a lot, big chunk of completely different gameplay than what we're used to so far, and which makes somewhat Star Citizen almost feel like an MMO at times. And but with that, some issues came out, and this is something that I experienced. And while I was streaming it, a lot of other people mentioned that, oh, so you're in New Babbage. Well, good luck. So what happens is the train doors on some trains are not opening. So I went to New Babbage to buy some components for my ship that disappeared after the reset.
Oh, God.
And I couldn't get back to the spaceport. However, on that server where I was, like you can't get back into ship. Like, no, doors are just not opening. But if you get to the other train and then you go to whatever the hotels are, you can do a whole circle. What I did, I just used backspace Sudoku. And and yeah, I know it's a game. And I woke up in the hotel and just made it like that. That train works. If it doesn't help you, switching servers maybe. I don't know. I hope no one gets trapped there.
It's really crazy, like when you played Star Citizen for a long time, because you start to see these bugs, like they get fixed, and then they will randomly pop up.
True.
Like the whole train doors not opening thing.
Yep.
When did that first rear up? Like
I know that being a thing in Lorville.
5?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's longer.
Yeah. And then here it is. Like they fixed it, and now it popped up again. And I understand. I get it. That's what happens when you're playing around with code and you're, you know, it's just kind of amusing from my perspective because it's not happening to me.
The more you play, the more you learn how to avoid the traps, kind of. So
yeah, but the doors not opening. Excuse me, the doors on ships not opening too. That is a bug that used to happen to me all the time too with my Cutlass. And that's something I've seen that's happening to a lot of different ships now. I was watching
It's not a bug, dude. It's Cutlass door. It's just Drake.
whatever. It happened on a cut or Titan too.
Sure, but I
And it
mean,
used to
Titan
happen
is
all the
old
time on like
design, and no, that's just a feature.
used to happen.
It never
Oh my
happened on my Origin ships. I don't know what to say.
god.
I'm kidding. I haven't had that. I haven't had that ever. To be fair. Wait, did that
Hmm.
happen to you like after they added the new marker that like tells you where the entrance is?
No,
Okay.
no, it was like a long time ago.
Oh, but it was like
Long time
coming
ago.
back, right? Is
Used
that
to
what
be
you're
a ship
saying?
door. Yeah, that's kind of on the whole, like, these bugs keep popping back up. But yeah, like it used to happen a bunch on my freelancer, like the back door, just like you'd hover over it and click open and nothing had happened.
Mm,
And then similarly, it happened to me on my Titan at one point. This was way back. This is like,
okay.
I don't
Before
know,
my
a
time.
while. So yeah, probably, or maybe around your time too.
Okay.
There was also a bug where the cutlass door would go part way down and it wouldn't go all the way down.
I had issues with entering the ships long ago where like freelancer I fly freelancers a lot. That's one of my there is one of my favorite ships. And so getting from the ramp or whatever, like back door was never an issue. However, if you use the actual door on the side where you climb the stairs, there was a solid patch or two where you would end there's a big chance of you ending up on the top bunk of the port side bed standing. And
Weird.
you can't do anything.
Well, they used to be the death doors, like when you were entering off the side of the freelancer.
I mean,
But that
technically
hasn't
you
been the
would
case
have
for a long
to
time.
backspace again. So it was
Right.
like a death door anyway. It
Well,
wouldn't kill you, but
what used to happen is like if you clicked enter ship and then you moved around a bunch before the ladder came down and the animation of entering the ship started, it would just like it would kind of record where you're moving around, and then when you climbed out of the ladder, it would like kind of teleport you into like halfway into the hull of a ship and you'd just die.
but
Um,
it
they
seems like the
fixed that,
same
I think.
bug, but this one teleports you on top of the
Yeah,
bunk on
and
that side,
then
port side.
mysteriously you survive. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because for a solid, I don't know, man. I can't think of any entry bugs really affecting me at all last year. So
No,
I'd say for a solid year, there wasn't any of these entry bugs.
I
And all of
do
a sudden
still
you've got
have bugs in the ships that are not fixed. Like Retaliator, when you leave the pilot seat, you get stuck between the seat and the entrance to the like bottom turret, and then you
that's an
might
old
yeah,
that's an old ship, yeah.
well yeah, and then you have to like crawl out of it maybe, but you can also hurt yourself and bleed out.
Yeah.
And this
But
was
didn't you
funny because once I tried to self destruct the ship and jump out of the hatch, and I didn't make it.
but I thought you said you tried to get back into your ship in Microtech and the doors wouldn't open.
But not on the ship, the train doors.
Oh, on the train doors.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay.
train doors.
I know the door bug was happening again because I was watching Quicksilver the other day, and that happened on his Cutlass, where his back ramp just like randomly wouldn't open. And
Oh, they were having this issue with the ramp, but I think it was rent. No, it wasn't rented. It was the Cutlass bought in the game. Oh my god, yeah, I remember. I was
yeah,
watching as well. Like the ramp would randomly open while he's entering with the. No one's like touching anything, and he's oh this was so. I was watching his stream. He was entering the ramp with the ROC, and the door just starts closing. And he's like, "What?"
Shit.
And then it stopped like
Yeah,
halfway. I don't know if he like touched the ceiling or something. Did not explode. Full of minables. Like holy moly.
jeez.
Whew.
I don't
Nothing
know.
bad happened, but that was
I didn't
stressful.
see that happen, but he went out to go like sell some of his minables, and then went back to the rock or back to the Cutlass, and the back door wouldn't open, so he had to like climb in the side doors off of his buddy's rock, and then get inside, and it was fine as soon as he got to the cockpit because he could just like do open exterior, and then it worked. But yeah, opening it from outside just wasn't working. I am really, really hoping that when we get these door panels added to all the ships, like
Like
like the
MSR.
MSR and the Carrack have. No, wait, Carrack doesn't have it. MSR.
MSR.
Anyways, I'm just hoping that just like puts the nail in this bug like permanently.
Yeah.
Like because I feel like it's the old legacy like use panels and stuff like that that seem to have these problems, and I'm hoping that building blocks kind of fixes that for good, because gotta tell you, there's nothing that feels worse when you're like all alone. And I remember this used to happen to me all the time, when I had my freelancer max. You'd go in, you get out of your ship, close the door because you don't want anybody hijacking your ship. You go in, you buy a load of cargo, and you try to come back out, and your door won't open, and your ship is just sitting there loaded with cargo.
Wait, people hijack ships in Star
No,
Citizen?
no,
I
no,
would
no.
never do that.
That's
I don't know.
no,
I would never
nobody
do that.
does that. Yeah, it's totally safe to just leave your door open at all times because nobody can actually even fly your ships. So
Oh man. I would never. Okay. Well, because
anyway,
I've heard that's griefing and it's bannable offense.
yeah, totally, yeah.
I'm ready. I have 2
Any
accounts. I'm ready to be banned on one. It's fine. I can't help
uh,
myself, man. If you guys are flying ROCs that you rented and you leave them open, check your top bunk because a wild cheg might appear there.
that was not a rock. Where did you do that? Freelancer? Was it
No,
freelancer or is it a cutlass?
it was a cutlass. I was in a
Ah, yeah,
top bunk, and yeah, luckily a guy was new and didn't know how to get any money with ROC. Otherwise,
yeah,
no,
yeah. I
free
remember that
manables.
story.
All right, so back to news.
Okay,
This is
cabbage.
why our
Gotcha.
shows are always on time. 2 hours flat.
Yeah,
Uh,
we don't tend to call, and we're always laser focused on the
yeah.
topic at hand.
Okay, so we had just like every week now we had ISC and SC live. In ISC was actually good, man. I enjoyed that. I don't know about you, but as you know, I really like Andromeda, or rather Constellation, which you don't. That's fair. And ship-to-ship docking was shown, and it's roughly what I expected it to be. We have an option. We will have an option of doing it manually, which should be a little bit faster and slightly unsafe. Or we can get our Kruger into position and then allow it to automatically dock.
See, to me, there was more manual than I expected for
With those two like
for
squares,
this.
like adjusting.
Well,
It's a good system
I
though.
didn't expect you to be able to manually dock at all. I figured you'd get the ship like roughly into position and then they just auto dock it for you. Um,
Well, auto
I'm
parking
actually
is
kind of
not too good, I'll
surprised.
tell you that. So if
I
it
know it
auto
isn't.
docks as good as it auto lands, I
No,
can't wait.
that's what I mean, man. That's why I didn't expect it to be something that was even possible to manual, and I definitely expected if it was going to go on autopilot that it would just be a series of
I
very pretty
cannot wait for
explosions.
this. I cannot wait for this. Now, here's some surprises for me. Now, I'm not very experienced, so maybe a lot of people would not be surprised. But the fact that you can dock to your Kruger to another Andromeda, someone else,
Oh,
like you
right.
can get the
Yeah, yeah.
permission and land, that is actually kind of cool. It's not gonna
Are
be very useful, but
Did they say, are they rolling that out in I thought that was coming later.
I don't know. But they showed exactly how it works. And the Jared said, so if you want to land on another, and then they show like you ask for permission, and then pilot has to give you the permission, or captain, whatever. And well,
Hmm,
owner of the ship, right? And then the hatch opens, and you can dock. Also,
cool.
you'll be able to spawn Kruger on your Andromeda from your Mobiglass. So will you be able to store it as well? So does it mean that you can store your own and then someone else docks with another one? Does that mean that you can
I
have multiple Krugers in Andromeda? That would break the immersion. I don't know how that's gonna work.
I just figured it would be similar to right now, where like if you load some vehicles and your Pisces in the Carrack and you store it, when it respawns that Carrack, it comes with like all the stuff that was in there is still in there. So I figured it'd be the same thing,
No, but you
but
can't
I
store. No, but you can store it now from your not a subterminal. You can store it with your Mobiglass and spawn it with your Mobiglass.
wait.
You gotta listen to that IC again. That's the big news.
Clearly, I do because I missed that part.
That's the
Yeah,
big news because this is the tier 0, tier 1 vehicle
of ship and
spawning.
ship. Yeah,
Yes, which is big. It doesn't sound that big because in Andromeda itself, or sorry, Constellation itself, it's not going to be that big of an impact on a gameplay at all. Whoever thinks it's gonna be, no. But it's an easy test bed for them for spawning in Idris, for spawning in what did you just say, Carrack, ships like that.
yeah.
So it 890 jump. So 890 jump, they use that as an example, I think, as well with 85Xs. Not sure, but
I don't
anyways,
remember.
that's
Man, I
amazing
feel like I
news.
gotta go watch that again.
There are
I did
two
not pay much attention to the docking. I was looking
because
at
you
the
don't
pretty
like
pictures.
the ship.
Well, they
I
showed
mean,
the hammerhead docking and stuff like
well,
that.
that's another thing. But before we
Yeah.
get to that, there were two more things that happened about the ship-to-ship docking, or did not happen. One is every time they did the docking, Constellation was stationary, like in space, but not moving. And I don't know why they would. I'm sure they would show moving ship while docking if they could. I mean, it would be really nice. Maybe it looks very scuffed. I don't know, but that was slightly disappointing too because I want to chase down my Andromeda after
Yeah.
a battle and dock rather than
I'm
it has.
I'm just gonna hazard a guess and say that initially you're probably gonna have to be stationary.
Sure, sure.
I hope that that's the case,
Do you think you will
and
have
you eventually
to?
don't have to do that.
Do you think you're gonna have to like be stationary to detach as well? Probably the same system then. But that would be crazy.
Shit.
Like imagine in the middle of the fight, let me stop.
Oh, dude, yeah, no, that would ruin it. 100% that would ruin it if you had to be stationary to launch it.
Like, torpedo
But
flying towards you and you're like,
but also like right now, can you imagine trying to do a manual dock with the desync on a server right now if that constellation is moving?
yeah, it would
Like
be rough.
yeah, like
So this is
in fact,
nothing against SC, obviously.
no,
We're
no,
just
no.
like
It's
us
just
thinking about like how could that work and why not, and that's all, right?
well, let's be honest. At first, it's going to be really rough, and there's going to be a lot of Andromedas turning into fireballs because the the
I'm
Merlin
ready.
back there did something different, did something that it wasn't supposed to, or something like that.
Now here's a little hint. If you want to try this and you have some credits, Horus is actually coming not the next patch, but one after, I think. And you can get them. So Taurus itself does not have. Wait, if you get the Taurus, you don't have a Kruger, right?
No, or
I mean, it's there, but you can't spawn it. So never mind that, because you can get
right.
Andromeda technically without, like, for not for $225, but actually 150. That is the price of Taurus. Speaking of which, you should probably, if you're thinking about Taurus, I can guarantee that the price will go up if when it comes out. So
For 150, yeah.
yeah,
How much is a max? 155.
something like that, 150 or
So the
155. But then I
so the
compare this
Taurus
to
is going up.
Andromeda as well.
Taurus is going up to at least
200.
200.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I expect.
In fact, actually, probably 200
Yeah,
on the mark would be my guess.
and 150 is low. I mean,
Well, the reason it's that low is because it's been a JPEG ship forever.
sure. All right. The last thing that I want to touch about ship-to-ship docking, I will link the video in the description. There's already an edit of ISC with Barry White in the background being named not safe for work.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's very good. It's not safe for work. Obviously, you can watch it.
No,
It's
yeah,
it's
no.
just a clip from
It's
the ISC with just Barry White, music. So it's good. All right. So you wanna so there was also ship to station docking.
Yeah.
Um, which they said the first ships to do this will be 890 Jump and Hammerhead. I'm a little bit bummed about this.
Why? Why?
We don't have too many Hammerheads and 890 Jumps to actually try this out. Like, how many people do you know that have these ships? I mean, I have them in my community, don't get me wrong, but would it be cooler if
It's not that I don't. It's not that there aren't tons of people out there with those ships. It's like it's more of like how often are they actually spawning them? Um, but so you're bummed because you just don't think that you're gonna see like ships docking frequently?
I think if they had it on a smaller ship, like because Cutlass Shred has it,
They don't
freelancers
have
have it. What do you mean? They have a
well,
dock and
like
catch. It's different, it's circle one, but
it's yeah, it's not the
sure.
station dock, the larger station docks, which is what they said. They're gonna start with the larger um station
Yeah.
dock and go. But I think the other reason is like a Cutlass. Those smaller ships don't have to dock anywhere. You know what I mean? Like there's a landing pad. There's always a landing pad available for a ship that size.
For Hammerhead,
Um,
there's also usually available.
yeah, I guess so. 890 jump there isn't. Like
You know which
there's no
ship
pads
doesn't have
available at Porto.
the Reclaimer? But Reclaimer doesn't even does it have docking collar? Holy
I don't
crap!
know.
If it doesn't, it really needs one.
I've only been in the oh yeah, definitely. Because that's a ship that you like even right now, you
You
don't want
can't,
to take that ship down in atmosphere.
and not, but you can't dock in Port Olisar, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
They
Not big
just
enough.
tell you, yeah, it's not big
Or
enough.
roads too big.
It took me 20
Yeah.
minutes to take it out from Lorville, and if you if you if you change VTOL before you get out of the atmosphere, you're falling down. That's it. There's just not enough
Mm,
trust, which is kind of
yeah.
cool. But
I know,
then
but I don't think that's intended.
I don't know. It's like dipping down. You can like turn like upwards, and all the engines are pulling up, and you're like falling down still. It's crazy. I
That's what I mean. I don't think it's intended.
mean,
Though I
she's big
do I
girl.
mean, yeah, and this is we kind of had a little bit of this conversation before we started the show about like how and we've touched on it I think last episode or the episode before too, like I how I ultimately I do kind of want some of these larger ships to be more difficult to fly. And
Oh,
so
she's
so that
definitely difficult to fly.
getting out of atmosphere actually feels like a bit of an accomplishment. Like that at the same time, the way it is right now, it's just a time thing. Like you're just basically going VTOL and pushing spacebar until you break atmosphere. That's boring, right? But like
Yeah,
comparing it to like dual universe, for example, it's like like if you've got a really heavy load on and you're not sure that you're going to break atmosphere, there's like this kind of like there's strategies on like how to actually like make that final push out of atmosphere where your space engines can finally kick in, right? Where it's like like you might get up to a certain altitude, level off, increase your velocity again, and then kind of make like a final kind of like a climb out. So it's not just a simple like, oh, I'm holding spacebar and eventually I get out. It's like something that's a little bit more interactive. Yes, it takes some time. Sometimes you fail and it's frustrating, but at the same time, like
it's
you're
a that
engaged in flying the ship that entire time.
that makes a better
And
pilot. Do it better than not so
yeah,
experienced or better pilot. But here's the thing: what crossed my mind immediately is SEU is still not physicalized.
yes,
So
yeah,
maybe because now Caterpillar is Caterpillar. It doesn't matter if it's full of cargo or not.
yeah.
So maybe when that and that's coming. We know that's coming. Like
Maybe, but at the same time, I hope that it isn't. I hope that there's similar ways, like in Dual Universe, where you can kind of like get around it, so that a good pilot, for example, may be able to bring that loaded caterpillar out of atmosphere, where somebody who doesn't know what they're doing and is just basically hammering the spacebar key or whatever, may not be able to bring that cat out of atmosphere.
I mean,
I,
landing a
I
Caterpillar now to Lorville for a new player is. I tested it.
Yeah, sure. It's definitely hectic the first time you do it, but once
Yeah.
you get used to it, you realize that there's not really anything to it. Like you don't really have to worry about crashing if you're not basically pointing straight at the ground and, firing your thrusters.
I do think there's
But
some bugs in Lorville Landing where you lose complete control over your ship. Not by
really,
yeah, like you get close to not to mention the hangar doors are opening and closing randomly,
yes,
but
or very
also when you
quickly. And
get really close, it feels like it happened to me a couple times. Just ship just goes down. I can't brake. I can't lift it. I can, not, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna be a crash. That's it. And there's literally
yeah,
nothing I can do. It's stupid, but I think that's a bug.
I hope that's a bug because again, like that just it kind of goes along the same lines of like I don't
Oh, but it happens once in 5 times. It's not like it's always a thing.
right.
And I mean, I've been playing quite a lot enough now. I have my own way of landing in
Yeah.
certain areas. It's not like and I fly Caterpillar quite a lot. So I don't think that I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Let's see.
At any rate, I just hope that eventually these sort of flying these bigger ships in atmosphere and stuff like that is something that requires a little bit more skill
Skill?
and
Yeah.
know-how.
Or no or knowledge. Experience.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, sure. Skill, knowledge, yeah, all that stuff. Good blend. Plus also like knowing I mean, I may be stretching here and I'm definitely going into imagined territory, but just having to know like a little bit like, oh, okay, I'm coming into a planet. I know Hurston has a dense atmosphere and strong winds, so I'm gonna
yeah.
have to fly this way, you know, would be cool. But yeah, we'll see.
Winds do affect now already, but not
They
yeah.
do, but there's not a lot of feedback
Sure, sure,
with
sure.
that.
I
It's
agree.
just kind of like, oh, my ship is lurching. What's going on? Like there's no sound, there's no feedback or anything like that. So
All right.
that's really doesn't have much to do with ship to station docking besides besides the original thrust, which was big ships, maybe like the Reclaimer should probably try to stay in space wherever
Yeah,
possible.
I don't think Clemmer has it, but I could be very wrong.
I don't know. Yeah, I honestly I've only been on the Reclaimer like a handful of times.
It's fun, but it has a lot of places where you can actually fall through the wall and kind of yeah.
It's
There's
an
some issues.
old model,
Yeah,
man. It's
but it's
what is it? Their
amazing.
second. Yeah, I
I don't
think it
know,
was their
but I have
second ever large
such
ship.
respect for that ship. And when I saw it in the
Totally.
expo, like last expo that we had in the when they brought it inside, that's
Dude,
where you
yeah.
feel it. It was like, oh
Oh yeah.
yes,
You
and I
see
bought it
just how
again
big that
that
ship
day.
is.
Yeah, and I was like, shit, I'm gonna start training with this thing. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I for me what always brings it to scale is when I go like stand my character next to a landing gear and then zoom
yeah,
out.
the biggest landing gear in the game right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but even with any of these ships, I like that's kind of one of the things that I get a kick out of in game is just like is the scale of everything. So I'll deliberately go and like set my character next to like the landing gear of a Carrack or something, and then just be like zoom out
This
and be
is
like, wow.
something I talked to a couple of new players. We were talking on my stream about like scale in Star Citizen. You know, often cry about the ship not being too
Yeah.
big. However,
Mm,
I came to a conclusion that that's not really a thing. There's something that they and let's not stretch this too much, but like just to mention it, when you're on foot, ships look impressively big. When you're in
yes.
space, however, even now, which we're going to talk about for sure, when we're fighting Idris and have a javelin, I was flying a really small ship. I was flying a Titan around that javelin. I know how big it is, but when I'm flying around it, even when I pull a third person like with F4, I don't get the kick of that scale at all. You
Yeah.
can see it's bigger, but how much bigger? I don't know.
I think one of the reasons there is just the speeds you're moving at
Oh,
when you're in your ship.
it's stationary. Like the javelin doesn't even move.
Oh,
So it's no. It's I can fly around it. I can land on it. Basically, it's not. No, and in Jericho as well. I don't know, and it's not the scale of the model. It's something about flying. I can't explain this, but yeah,
hmm.
who knows?
Well, on the plus, well, on that, the Titan apparently is 22 meters long. The Javelin is 500 meters long. Like when you think about it, that's not that many Avengers stacked end to end.
I
You know,
mean,
it's not that many ship lengths. I don't know.
25,
Yeah,
right? It's
25 ship lengths though. Like that's not
bro. Just
that
think about
big when you think about
25
it.
Avengers in a line.
Oh, sure, sure. But that's what all I'm saying is that, like, when you're in that ship, it makes sense that it doesn't feel that big. Because one, let's think about it, like 22 meters. That is a big ship that you're in. 22 meters. That's
Listen,
that's a,
you're driving a truck. When I'm driving a car and I have
Mhm.
to overtake a truck, I can feel how much bigger you are in that truck, and I have to think twice.
Yeah, but you're like right beside it too.
You gotta watch my streams. I'm one of those people that is hated because I fight that Idris. I'm in its cannon. I'm like there, and then someone accidentally hits me, and they end up in jail. So I've changed this now because I ended up in jail as well, and I
Yeah.
understand. But like when that's why I fly Hawk because
Wait, wait, wait,
it's
wait. So are they not doing the friendly fire thing?
no, and we'll talk about that when we get to that. Wait, so
Okay.
let's continue with IC. We saw some plants being worked on. They look amazing. I don't think we have to touch on that too much. They also mentioned some collectibles that are coming with planes with plants potentially. Very cool stuff. Flora and fauna, can't wait. It just makes the world more
Yep.
alive.
Maybe I'll do a science section on some of the
Sure, that
flora
would be
there that they
amazing.
showed
That would be amazing.
when we get a chance, because that was one of the things that jumped out to me was like, oh, that's cool. I bet you, I bet you there's some cool science shit behind that. Like the one that follows the golden ratio. Oh,
Mm.
that's really cool. Oh, I could definitely do a show on or a section on that.
Put in the notes. It's really cool. I always like seeing these things, and I'm always bummed that I don't know when they're coming. Like I want them sooner than later. We talked about this. We might get some whales soon with the Crusader. Why not? And I want those space
Sorry,
cows.
I want to rewind just a little bit back to the scale thing and just put this in perspective. 22 meters is about twice the length of my garbage truck, just so you know. So that Avenger
Oh,
is
it's not a small
two
ship.
is two garbage trucks stacked
It
end to end,
yeah.
basically. That's big. That's huge.
I mean,
That's
it's if you think about it, it's a spaceship. It's smaller than a plane, much smaller. I don't know. I mean, like
I don't really know where I'm going with this.
yeah.
Besides that, like even an Avenger is a pretty big object.
I don't know. I expect them to be bigger, but it is what it is. I'll get used to it. Okay, so the sneak peek from a few weeks ago, where we had that device on the door, and we were like discussing what that could be. Now we know that's a tool for breaching doors, basically. Uh, eh, eh, eh,
Whoa, 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 whoa,
okay.
whoa! Really? You're gonna shrug that one off? Didn't we just
Yeah,
have a little talk about
I don't think
about
you're gonna be able to use this
breaking
on
into people's
ships.
ships?
No. There's some
Well, I don't think.
crappy
Yeah,
PvE bunker thing. I don't know.
fair enough. Actually, that's probably where it will come in first.
They're not going to
But
let you buy a tool and steal someone's ship like that.
I bet you they do. I bet you they do.
And you
And
understand?
that right.
Here's 100% not because a dude got banned. I'm not even kidding. A dude got banned. I don't know his name, but for sneaking into other people's ships and killing them and stealing their ships. You know that a few months ago. We were talking
Wait,
about this.
really?
Yeah.
What? That's gameplay,
No,
guys.
apparently people cried enough, and that's called griefing now, and you're actually not allowed to do that. Like
But
it's a
they're putting
bannable
in
offense.
literally on the progress tracker. They talk about ship security systems,
Yeah,
which
whatever.
which which implies that they are trying to set things up so that you have the ability to control like door locks and things like that, which also implies the opposite of that, which is stealing ships. And
Listen,
they're even providing door crackers. You're
right
telling me
now
that that's
it's even funnier because you don't have a tool to unlock something. Someone has to be dumbass, and sorry, listener, if I've been a dumbass before.
oh, me too. Yeah, I've
So
had
if
my
you're a
ship stolen.
dumbass and you leave the door open and someone steals it, fuck you. Like that should not be a bannable offense. But this guy
Dude,
was That was his gameplay, like fully, and yeah, a lot of people reported him, and he got banned.
Oh man, that makes me feel really bad
He
because
was
like
he was on one
because
one of the podcasts. I think he
was
was
he
in
glitching
Salty Mike's. No,
through like doors or anything, or was he just walking through open doors?
and then
Because
he
like,
would kill you, like when you get in or stuff like that, right?
so what? That's happened
I
to
agree. I
everybody.
agree. I don't want that to be griefing in any way. Like killing in it's a fucking PP game. So, but yeah, I don't know, man.
I will say that I used to do trading in the in my Starfarer. That used to make trading in a Starfarer so intense because every time you landed at Port O, there was a there was a very high probability that you were going to have people coming in over that top gantry, and every time I'd go into Quantum from Port Olisar, I was basically crouched in the bridge with a gun trained on the door because I was like,
Wait, you couldn't do what you can do now? Check the chat inside and see if
oh,
there's anyone
maybe I
else.
could. I didn't know about it at the time. So it was just like intense the entire
That's
time. I'm just like waiting, waiting,
yeah.
waiting. Okay. Okay, I think I made it. Okay, sweet. And then
Nice.
I do like the rest of my trade route. But
Oh man.
I don't know, that was just part of the game. I wasn't pissed. There was tons of times where somebody would sneak in,
I do
and
it all
I'd
the
lose a
time.
load of cargo,
That's what
like,
I'm
but
saying.
that's
I might get banned on one of my accounts,
it's
even though
stupid.
I'm not like really griefing people, whatever. Like,
Xylo, if you're out there, come on, man. What's up with that?
yeah, I don't know. So with that in mind, I don't think it's gonna be cool for stealing ships, and it wasn't on a door of a ship. I think this is.
I
I don't
think it
know.
will be eventually. I think you're right in that. I don't think it will
Yeah,
initially,
maybe
but
all the systems are in the game and all that.
yeah, like if they're putting in ship security systems and stuff like that, it stands to reason that there's going to be counter systems to that.
Honestly, I feel like this is Quorum 42 thing more than
Oh,
anything right
yeah,
now.
no, it definitely is
Yeah.
for sure.
And then they just showed it off because, whatever. They have it done.
Right. It
Um
definitely sparks some imagine, that's for sure.
yeah, which yeah, is the thing.
Right.
The last thing I want to mention from IC is Reputation Manager. We actually saw it, a couple of screenshots, and it's a little bit over like cluttered, I would say, but
T0, right?
I don't know if that's intent. I don't know. I mean, why would you pump out T0 something like that? That makes no sense to me.
I don't know, they do it all the
Visually.
time.
Nah, do they? Would they bring out another unfinished version of Mobiglass, for example?
Um, no, but
It's
like
time for
but
these things to not be tier zero. Not like okay, gameplay, sure. You bring tier zero medical gameplay, but not
but
why?
it's an iteration, man, and like that's kind of the whole point of building blocks is that it's easy to tweak and change and
Sure.
perfect kind of like
Okay, fair.
various parts of UI. So
To be fair, it doesn't look that bad at all, and I
I mean,
would be
how
happy
many
to have
times
it.
have our HUDs changed?
Not
In
many
our
times
ships,
since I've
right?
been playing. So
Oh,
in the
like
last
two or
year
three
and a
times since
half,
you've been playing.
no.
Two times for sure.
When I started playing, Pisces already had the new HUD, and then it was just
Oh,
added to other ships.
okay. Okay. I thought you
So
were there for before the Pisces.
3.7, end of 3.7. Um, Pisces were there already.
Okay. Well, at
Um,
any rate, I wouldn't be surprised if things get kind of tweaked and stuff as they get used. That's kind of the whole point of the whole alpha thing, right?
sure, sure. But it doesn't look that bad, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm like undecided on this, and it would be good to see because right now reputations are all over the place. We keep losing them for random shit. We get into a
Yeah.
jail and don't lose it. We fail a mission, we lose it. I had to do my bounty hunting licensing 10 times probably. It's getting
Oh
really
yeah.
boring, and I don't know what the crap is happening.
I told you that
Yeah.
I think it was a couple weeks back. I told you that like I had the situation where I actually crashed out. Crashed a desktop a couple times, and I guess it considered those missions failed, and
Yeah.
yeah, like bumped me down, and I had to start from like not very low, but I had to start from like the low qualification or medium qualification again, and
It's cool
I
to
don't
have
know, like it doesn't really
reputations,
matter,
but
but
I
yeah,
almost feel no, actually, boldly, I feel like they shouldn't have brought reputations before bringing that. Like that should have come at the same
the
time.
reputation manager.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
we don't know what the fuck is happening. Like
no,
you're just
yeah, like
speculating.
it's totally. It's like for all I know, my reputation didn't actually drop, and it was just something that bugged out and made me do the
Yeah.
qualification bounty hunter qualifications over again.
Oh, for me
It
it
would be
happens all
nice
the
to have that
time. Just
visualized.
I don't even fail or anything. I just log in tomorrow and I have to do it again, and I'm like, oh come on. So yeah, it is what it is. But sure, I'm happy to have that in. And there were a couple more things you guys should check out ISC for sure. It's only 10-minute video. Well, it was a little bit longer this time, but always like lately, really good stuff. I even dropped a like. I enjoyed watching that. There was a lot of information. Okay.
Kind of funny because I was like, again, I must have missed the reputation screen sneak peek because I was just like frantically googling there, like, what does that even look like again? I can't
Just
remember if
open
I've
the
even seen
video
it.
and scroll all the way to the
This
end.
this week has been a bit of a blur for me. I've
That's
been
okay.
I haven't had the time to like really fully metabolize any of the information that I've had
And there was
because
a lot.
from, there was, yeah, but for the beginning part of the week I was training a new guy, and that just kind of like really put a damper in my Star Citizen listening time, and
Your
now
life, man.
I'm a little bit resentful about that.
That's okay. You catch up during the podcast. It's fine.
Yeah,
Okay, so
makes for good conversation.
yeah. Okay, so we also have Xenotrat Stage 3, and I love it and I hate it. I love it because holy moly. You like when you do the mission for the first time, there's like 30 plus people fighting,
Yeah,
and it's mind-blowing thing to see.
capital ships everywhere, and
Oh
yeah,
my god, it's amazing. So here's mm, actually I'm not going to talk about it because that's going to be what we did in game. But stage 3, to make it simple, stage 1 was just Xenotrat. Actually, that's how they say it. Xenotrat appeared on the screens
oh yeah,
of
that's right.
huh?
I'd forgotten about that. That they said Xenothreat in
Yeah,
the
in their own video,
movie.
right? But still, developers say Xenotrat. So, but listen, Xenotrat knows better, right? It's their org,
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's true.
it doesn't matter. Like it's all yeah, but
It's like some random voice actor who's just basically
did
fucked
not
up a
read it
line,
properly. Yeah,
and it's just like, and now it's canon.
but he's good voice actor. Like that
Yeah,
message actually sounds dope when he says,
it
"We
did.
are
Yeah,
Xenothreat." Like
yeah,
okay, bro. And they
totally.
have fucking Idrises and more than we thought, which is kind of cool. Apparently they have endless amount of Idrises because we killed like probably
Yeah.
10,000 Idrises in the past couple of days. But yeah, they say they're gonna bring these numbers as well, which is kind of cool for the event. Um,
That's actually
yeah,
really interesting.
I can't wait for that. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
So Xenotrat stage 3. So first stage was like Xenotrat just saying what they have to say on the screens, which I missed, but and I thought I missed part of the event, but really
yeah.
nothing.
Turns out that was just phase one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Phase 2 was the best phase in my opinion because it was so versatile, where you could do like different cargo
I agree.
missions, protecting people who are doing cargo, protecting the station Jericho from Idris attacks. You had the Idris fight already, and I really enjoyed this because I
You had the
tried
odd PV. You had the odd PvPer jumping in to just like throw an
exactly.
extra wrench into
And it was
everything.
so
Yeah,
difficult because you actually community figure out that there's a lot of accidental red targets, and there
yeah,
was this crazy thing that I've never seen before, not in Star Citizen but like in PvP MMOs in general, where people were reading general chat. People started actually checking who they're attacking. This is mind-blowing to me. It's a small thing, but it
hmm,
makes it better. And I had multiple sessions. I played shitload of phase 2. I had multiple sessions where reds would be there for like 40 minutes. or hours even, and no one would
Right.
touch him because, oh, that's that Cutlass Shred. Fine, we're not touching that guy. He's good.
Yeah.
He's okay. And then another Cutlass appears that is red and kills someone, and then then it's a mess. But that's beautiful, actually. I don't know. It's crazy.
I think so too. Frankly, like you said it right there. Like people were actually communicating in general chat. That's why I thought stage 2 was so cool.
It was great.
It's because, not because any of the gameplay was particularly groundbreaking. Um, moving boxes, we've had that for a long time. Combat the way it is, we've had that
Mm,
for a long
I
time.
disagree.
But
I think it was groundbreaking because there's something we do not touch on, and that's how do you get to the boxes
sure.
where you have to
But if
enter the other way, then you have to kill all the NPCs, then you have to find
sure.
and turn on the power to open the door,
But
and
guess
then
what? Finding the NPCs, that we've had that. I'm not saying this negatively. I'm not trying to say
sure,
like, this event was shit. I'm just saying like it wasn't anything that we hadn't really seen before, besides like a few variations, like the generator for the door, and then the
like a
different
puzzle
like
kind of.
the different like types of boxes that reacted to different things. Those are the new parts. But like,
And the
but
usage of
overall,
tractor beam as well, that was amazing, actually.
okay, sure. But ultimately, it's still moving boxes. But
Sure,
like they put all of these things together for the first time in Star Citizen, and you could see that it started
potential.
to be more like an MMO because people are talking, people are
It worked.
coordinating, it worked. Yeah, exactly.
Worked. And us
And
like jumping back and forth. So the crazy shit happened, like where we were loading the boxes. Me and a couple of guys that I in Discord with, like after streams, because I wanted to focus fully and like play with them off the stream, which rarely happens. And then Idris attacking, so all the random guys that we don't know go to fight Idris, and then we get Xenotrat spawning where we are, and I have to like jump into my little penguin and just fly around and kill with like the doors open and all that, whatever. Uh,
yeah,
Holy moly! It was crazy, and it was great. And then
yeah,
we had stage 3, which was which made it even more alive, kind of, because uh you everyone gathers in one spot and fights Xenotrat in bigger ships. However, when it comes to group chat, it was a shit show. But we're gonna talk about it later. But the stage 3, basically, one idiot shows up with some support ships. On the Xenotrat side, on our side, there's Javelin, and we try and help Javelin kill the Idris. When we kill the Idris, 2 other Idris spawn with some hammerheads. You gotta kill that as well, and then uh, magically Javelin disappears. The best thing of all, until stage 3, capital ships would just disappear when you kill them, and they
yeah,
like
because they're supposed to be
escape.
quantuming out. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
which doesn't really happen, but sure.
yeah.
But in stage 3, the Idris explosion is fucking amazing. I don't know if you've seen it, but it
Is there a
sounds
new
great.
one?
I don't know, dude, but I was going back for the
Because
explosions.
I thought the Idris explosion, like even from PTU, was like fantastic.
You
I
know, I
even
don't
kind of
spend
went
much
on
time
about
on
it.
PTU, like even watching, but I guess. But I don't know. It
Like,
was really good. It was
do
not
they
delayed.
still have that? Do they still have that double sound that you kind of mentioned you weren't like a fan of?
Yes,
You
but
remember how like
now it made more sense because the ship was disintegrating. There were like multiple explosions
mm,
within the Idris. There's a lot of
yeah,
like explosions happening of different colors, a lot
yeah,
of smoke,
parts are flying
parts
off of
flying
it.
and
Yeah,
staying there for a long time throughout the whole. Like you're
yeah.
fighting the other 2 Idrises, the first one is still there, scattered with like parts, and I was like, man, I want Reclaimer to come and eat this Idris, man. It would be like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
And then that core goes critical, and you see those like
Yes.
electromagnetic field lines basically punch two big particle beams out.
Sure.
Yeah, man, that's really cool. I really hope, and this is just like full on imagine here, but I would really love if eventually those big like particle beams that happen when a capital core goes critical, if you're caught in that beam, like it just punches holes through things, that would be awesome.
Yeah, there's some damage from that. It'll be cool. We're gonna come back to that later. So a few other things happened after IC and stage 3. We got the Lunar New Year. Shit, I forgot what they call it in the game. Something C.
Oh,
Ham
Coramore, but that's
Coramon.
Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay. So we have Lunar New Year, which again I almost made a mistake like last time on Star Citizenship podcast. I was like, wait, there's a goat on the skins. And I was like, it's a year of an ox.
Wait,
What the
there
fuck?
is?
Yeah. Oh, you
Oh,
didn't
I
see
didn't
that?
notice that.
Yeah.
No, I just saw the red skins and I was like, cool, I like that. I want it.
But
I didn't
then I
realize
was
there's
like,
more. Oh, there it
wait.
is. I see.
I made a
Cool.
mistake last year as well, and now I figured out. I went and checked 2952 is a year of a goat. so again, kudos to Star Citizen devs researching or whoever does that. And so we got two new skins, one for any freelancer and one for Nomad.
I'm really bummed about this. I love red coloration. I would love for them to finally do a skin for one of the ships that I actually have. I just feel like all the best skins that have come out so far aren't for ships that I have and I'm planning on keeping for a long period of
Guess
time.
who has LTI Nomad with red
Yes,
skin?
I know. Yeah, I know. And you got your freelancer too. But my freelancer turned into an MSR. And the only skins out there for MSR are lame. Except for the black one that you got from the mini game,
Advocacy
which I
one is
didn't do.
amazing, and I think that the basic skin is really good though.
I do,
Like no
yeah,
skin.
yeah. Black and
So
white I do really like.
yeah,
But man,
the skins are crap.
how sick would a red and black MSR look? It would look amazing.
Red and black, but this is not red and black though. This is red
well,
and gold, and
yeah.
I don't know. I
But
like the ram.
the gold's on the accents, but like most of the like if you look at all
It's very
of
golden
the
though. I don't
MSR
really like
skins,
gold that much. It's
all the
very golden.
exposed components stay
Mm.
black on the
Oh, okay.
MSR skins. So basically, it would just be like the ship paneling itself that would switch to like red and gold, which I think would look.
Let's imagine for you, my friend. My ships have red skins. Bye.
You're an asshole.
You know what I want? I want these skins to be also in game because we can only buy the first iteration of skins that came out. But I guess these things will be there. And I also want pirate skins to be skins.
Yeah. Frankly, I want the skins that you pay for to be actual like skins, not just hex color changes.
Sure.
This is kind of off topic, but I think Cameron actually made a tweet I think it was yesterday, where he was basically showing that the one dev video where they had a saber in the hangar and they were just like rapid fire changing skins on it. Like
I don't
those
know
are
if
just
I saw that. I don't know if I agree with the guy this time.
Those are just hex.
Because his message was wrong.
Well, his message is always kind of wrong. He's the guy who got Chris a little fired up.
I know who he is. Yeah,
in the forums. Yeah,
he's very important for the community, and kudos to him. Like I have a lot of respect. But that message was like, "We want this, and you guys are giving us this shit." And I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, calm down a little bit, you know.
Definitely calm down a little bit for sure.
But yeah, because he says the orcs want their colors, but we know that's gonna be in the game. Like the painting system will be in the game, so
it is. But I'd like to see that sooner rather than later. But I guess in the meantime, okay, go ahead and monetize it. Squeeze our wallets even more, CIG.
I bought it for store credit I had already. So
I bought skins, yeah, for sure.
But I would buy skins. I'll be honest. I would spend money on skins. I don't care.
I would too, but again, like they need to be cool. Like this is one of the big problems I had.
This one
remember
is cool.
with the white skin that they came out with for the Carrack?
Yeah,
and they
that
sold
was
it for
shit.
$20.
I agree.
And all it was just white. There was nothing special about it. They just changed the color.
But okay, I'm okay with blue, yellow IAE skins. I think that they bring something different.
Sure.
Because they have logos and whatnot. I'm okay with this skin because it has a ram on the side and it looks really cool. That ram actually doesn't look that bad. it brings a little bit more. It's a decal with it. It's not only livery. So I don't know. It's only color.
Mostly, like it's got some of the I'll give you, it's got like the badges on it and stuff like
Yeah.
that, which is cool. But
Um.
like it would have been,
Even
and
the
I
Nomad black skin with like red accents.
yeah, that looks
I
good.
like
That
that
looks
skin. I
really
don't know.
good.
I use it. The white one is. Eh.
For sure. And like again, like I'm a little bit of a hypocrite here because like I have definitely bought these skins even though they're nothing really that special. But
Look,
you
something
know,
like Gladiator. Sorry. What's the name? Gladius pirate skin and the
I love
green
that skin.
black pirate skin for Caterpillar. I'm buying that shit back. And,
Yeah,
and
that red
these,
Gladius,
I would
so
pay for
good.
that. Like, I would pay for that.
I would like to see a little bit more complex, like a little bit more effort put into it if you're going to
Sure.
charge me $10 for it. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
Like instead of just a color change. And again, like it's a
Would you be
minor
okay
gripe
if that is
because
Warbond though only? I think I'd be okay with that as well.
what do you mean? Like
You can
what do you
buy
mean
with
Warbond
credit.
only?
You gotta spend fresh cash on it.
Oh, for skins?
Yeah, if they're
Yeah,
like good and
yeah,
detailed.
yeah, sure.
I agree. I agree.
Like honestly, if they're gonna monetize like that, like I mean, we had a long conversation about this
Sure.
before the show started. Like running servers, however big those servers
Yeah,
end up being, is fucking expensive. So
for sure.
I'm
I'd
okay with
rather them
skins being
monetizing skins
no
than
store credit.
ships. To be fair, maybe
The
concepts.
only thing I would say, if they're gonna make skins money only, like if I decide that I don't want that skin anymore, or I've got rid of the ship, at least let me melt that back for credit. You know, like
Ooh.
even if I can't use credit to, because you can do that now.
Oh, okay. I see
Like
what you're saying. But that before the game comes out, right? Not after. I don't think melting will be a thing
y-
when the game comes out. Man, that would be
actually, you're
crazy.
probably right.
Come
Yeah, you're
on.
probably right.
Why that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. But like right now, for example, like I have a Talon and I have the skins for it. I don't plan on keeping that Talon. You know, the only reason I have the skins for it is because it's basically credit that I can use for whatever I want, you know?
Sure. Okay. Um
Anyways.
so yeah, so we got that. We got uh well, this was wrong. The red ships in the store. So we also have Valentine's Day, which means envelopes are scattered around the system. You can pick them up, sell them for I think 1,000 alpha AUC at for to vendors. And then because of Valentine's Day, we have obviously Heartseeker like every year, um, which is an amazing livery actually. Which I
Think so?
wish I love that one. That gives me like
But it's
U.S.
but it's
Navy.
I guess
Oh
it
come on,
yeah,
there's that pinup girl.
the
Come on,
pinup
dude.
girl,
And it has like little hearts for the kills under the cockpit. And no, that one I love that one. It's really good. You don't like it?
it should have just been a skin.
Yes,
Like the
that's what I'm
whole
saying. Like that's I want that as a skin. Yes,
yeah.
just like
It should
pirate
have just been
ships.
a skin. Instead, they like sold it as its own separate ship with a meta loadout for the era. Oh, actually, remember how we were talking about how like cannons used to be the meta? That's where the Heartseeker came in. That's why the Heartseeker's loadout is all M7As or whatever
Oh,
they
it comes with it.
decide. Yeah,
It's
yeah, it
like
comes
F
with
seven
all.
eight eight or something like that. I'm not sure. The
It's the
size for
size 4 laser cannons, but
ballistic.
not the Omnis.
Oh no, I'm talking about ballistic cannon. That's meta now.
They maybe changed it, but it used to be they used to be laser
No, I
cannons.
don't know. I don't know heart seekers. Like I'm saying, these ballistic cannons are now meta. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Right now,
oh,
it's
they
changed.
are
Oh yeah,
interesting. Oh
holy
man, it's come
moly.
full circle. Because that used to be again like that used to be the thing in Arena Commander was running broadswords or long swords and tarantulas.
Yeah. So now, if you're using that, people are like tryharding and. Anyways, for the Lunar New Year, we got Heartseeker in the store and all other red ships. So you can actually now buy Caterpillar in the store. For 295, you can buy M50, which I think is always in store. I'm not sure, but they whatever. Maybe it's like the better deal. Heartseeker, something else I don't know. couple more ships in the store, but we already have a bunch more ships because of Phase 3, which I did not mention. We got, or was it Phase 2? I don't remember now, but we got a bunch of ships in the store now. Like now, there's so many ships to buy in the store. Okay, then after
those combat ships are still all available.
Yeah,
hey,
exactly. After that, we had. Wait, where's my Star Citizen Live? I don't have it here. There was Star Citizen Live as well, and I think it was actually
my cat may have deleted that. Remember how I was saying my cat was an asshole and jumped down from the shelf?
No, I don't know if I
onto
placed it even, but
okay.
It was actually not bad. But to be fair, I don't remember what it was.
I still need to finish it because I watched half of it when it came out on Friday. But it's basically the ship team, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh, big,
it's something that
capital ships fight.
Yeah, capital ships. Yeah.
And then
it's on my list of stuff to.
And it was vehicle experience team, right?
It was a bunch of the guys from it. Yeah.
So they actually used some of the questions for vehicle experience team AMA. That was on Spectrum. Yes.
Oh,
Jared
probably.
was bringing up some. Maybe we didn't get to that point yet. But we had Vehicle Experience Team AMA, and that's also so Star Citizen Live. Some really some of the people who are asking questions in Spectrum are really, I don't know. They're not stupid, but like questions are really stupid because questions that like I would read the question and I would answer a question before I read.
Punch right there, Cheg.
Yeah. I mean, maybe some people just don't pay enough attention. They throw a question there, and
I think that's it. I think that's most likely.
And I'm surprised that some I remember what you said today is that they used to answer the questions that are upvoted mostly, but that was not the case. And there were some really, they would answer some really simple, like they would go for simple answers basically, where you ask a question and they choose that question when there's like 2 upvotes, and they would say, yeah, we have that it's planned. We don't know when it's gonna happen, and you know that's the answer. It's like, no, why did they answer this one? Come on, man.
Maybe it's because of that.
I think it is.
This is kind of tangenting, but I'm always kind of curious about like if there's any rules in CIG about about particular devs having like a quota of like Spectrum responses that they have to do every week.
AMA for sure.
So I kind of wonder if it's that. And I'm not saying this negatively at all, but I could just see them basically being like, I'm fucking busy. What are some easy questions that I can just answer?
Hey, it's our fault. We give them that exit. So this is kind of crazy. I play World of Warcraft. Well, not anymore, but like I used to. And whenever AMA happens from Blizzard, Asmongold, Alicia is going to kill me for mentioning his name here, but Asmongold would watch this with his stream and read it out loud and, you know, mention like his opinion. And he would be like, he would read out the name of a guy who asked a stupid question that we all know answer to and be like, you, Mr. John Doe, why are you so fucking stupid? Because you know the answer. We all know the answer. Why do you not pay attention? And Blizzard would always choose these dumbass questions to answer. But if you don't give them simple questions, they have to answer something else, right? So, anyways, there were some good answers as well. I'm really happy to know that all the ships are getting light switches, for example. That's very important.
That was your takeaway from the vehicle AMA.
I'm sorry.
My God.
I like these little things. Okay, God. Definitely check it out. It's still on Spectrum. You can also check the Star Citizen Live. Quite a lot of information that is also useful, or you might not know until now. The last thing in the news that are already 1 hour and 10 minutes long is there's been some digging and speculations about CitizenCon 2021 because allegedly, CIG did book a place in LA where they, I think, usually have a convention there or whatever. And we talked about this a little bit before the show. It kind of makes sense because LA was the place where CitizenCon 2020 was supposed to happen, so
They already had, didn't they already have that venue booked
they did for last year.
as well? Yeah, yeah.
So from what I know is it's one year in States and then 1 year somewhere in Europe. But then last year it was LA, but it didn't happen. And now they're
Yeah.
booking for LA again. It makes sense. My take on this is that knowing that the whole chaotic thing with the pandemic happening is probably, companies that rent these spaces have to offer kind of a buyback idea to anyone who is going to rent it, because they're probably running out of business right now. So they probably would agree on, on a deal that if it happens, you pay. If it doesn't happen, it is what it is. You get your money back or whatever.
Which is, I don't know, that's really interesting to me because, again, from other sources, I suppose, what I heard is that we are absolutely not having a CitizenCon this year, like 100% not happening.
Can I ask you which
So,
sources?
I choose not to answer that.
Which sources we
But
definitely believe.
let's just say that, I mean, well, let's just say that they're wrong in this case, because if they've booked a convention center, clearly they are planning for CitizenCon. What surprised me though is that CitizenCon, besides just booking the venue, takes a lot of preparation. So they must have had a bunch of it already like prepared
For the
last year or
year.
something. It's what you pointed out kind of when we rushed on this topic before we started here. But yeah, like that's interesting. Anyways,
Let's see
I'm quite
what comes
surprised.
from
Yeah,
it. I kind of feel like
yeah,
that information by itself doesn't mean much. If they had an option
no,
where they don't have to pay for it if it doesn't happen, why not go for it? You know what I mean? Then they definitely can use a lot of props from last year that was never used because there was no sitcom last year. So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I don't think this information is that important. When they announced selling tickets or stuff like that, then we can talk about like the date and all that, I would say.
I would be really surprised if CitizenCon happened these days.
I would as well.
Just
Listen,
given kind of like what the numbers look like down in California right now. It's
sure.
like,
No, I
you
agree.
know,
But also, like Blizzard is doing their BlizzCon online free for everyone. That's it. Like they don't have it this year for sure. So I mean, yeah, I don't think
yeah,
this information brings too much. Source
no,
for them booking it is Board Gamer actually, but I think he showed a document that shows it or something like that. I don't know.
yeah.
You want to
I
see
still think
easy here.
it's interesting. It's an interesting piece of information, anyways.
We are.
But yeah,
Are you making
but
pancakes?
oh, are you just hearing? Oh yeah, no. So it's my wife in the
That's
background.
okay.
She's yeah,
Okay, it's all good. It's all good.
she's eating lunch. This is the disadvantage of a shared office.
All good. Okay,
Now
so
she's giving me shit for it.
we're done with the news. The next section is what did we do or what happened in game in the last week. I'm gonna let you go with this because your version is very short. Or is it?
Yeah.
Because of the joysticks, so I don't know.
Well, it is kind of like, but yeah, like I didn't really play anything of Star Citizen this week. It's been a hectic week, but I did spend a lot of time drilling over new joysticks. My T16000s are definitely on their way out. Axes are starting to wander and break and stuff like that, and I've just kind of like started looking around. And initially, I was just like, "Oh, I'll just buy some T16000s again," and you know, because they work well enough, and I got 2.5 years of use out of them. But you can't find them anywhere.
I was just about to say, I know they're sold out in the whole world.
And the only ones that are available are like, Jesus, like they want like $150 a stick. I'm like, that is ridiculous. So, I mean, I've always kind of like I've loved the idea of getting Virpil sticks, but for me over here in Canada, that is a hefty expenditure because one, the shipping is also quite expensive on them.
Where do they come from? Isn't it something in Europe,
It is
like Czechoslovakia or something like that?
either Czechoslovakia, possibly
Or
Romania,
sorry, Czechia slash
maybe
Slovakia. One of
maybe
those.
Poland.
I don't
I
know.
can't
We can check,
remember.
but I remember it's something
Europe,
from
anyways.
Europe. Yeah.
Prices are in euros, and the Canadian dollar isn't that strong, and shipping is hefty. And then if you're gonna do that, then I was kind of like, well, I play with pedals as well, and my pedals are definitely like barely functional, but it's fine. I bought them used for like $20, so um uh and then I just yeah, so Virpil sticks ended up being like too expensive. It was like 1,600 Canadian for a Virpil setup.
So did you go for something?
And
You guys were mentioning those gladiators.
yeah, well that's it, right? Like yeah, the other thing that kind of turned me off from the Virpils, price, because my wife is sitting here, I will say that I definitely wasn't ever seriously considering them. But the other thing that kind of turned me off to them was then I realized how tall they were, and I play with my sticks like on my desktop.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's the other reason why they ended up being like $1,600 because the alpha grips they sit up quite tall, and I basically would have to desk mount them,
hmm,
and that's like that's another bunch of money.
gotcha.
Um, so yeah, so then I started looking at the VKB sticks, the gladiators, and like obviously they're not anywhere close to the same level of build quality as the Virpil sticks, but they are like literally a
Feedback
third of
from
the price.
users is really good, though.
It is, yeah. Oh, and this is the thing, like even the gladiators, which are their lower end sticks, like are built in such a way where if something breaks in them, you can take them apart and repair them, as opposed to like I looked up what it would take to repair the twist axis in the thrustmasters.
Too much?
No. But no, well, yeah, like you have to like basically razor blade a bunch of stuff apart, and then you have to either like
Oh,
epoxy or plastic weld it back together afterwards. And it's
okay.
just like for a stick that cost me $40, I'm not doing that.
Well, it's not 40
Um,
bucks anymore, my friend.
no, it's not, but that's what they cost me when I
Yeah.
bought them. Um, so yeah, so I was looking at the gladiators, and that's what I think I'm probably gonna move on because honestly, like I said, like a third of the cost of Virpil sticks. They're definitely a step up over the Thrustmasters. They're repairable, so if any of the parts do end up going bad and needing to be replaced or just cleaned, it's like easy to take them apart.
Mm.
So yeah, I think I'm probably gonna go that route at some point this year. Maybe even the pedals as well, because my Thrustmaster pedals are garbage. I'm not really a big fan of the VKB pedals, so I don't know. They're just two axis pedals, and I would like toe brakes because I use those. But yeah. Anyways, no. So I didn't actually play Star Citizen, but I did look at sticks a whole bunch this week.
Fair enough. I mean, it's an important, upgrade. It changes your whole experience. I was talking a lot about sticks and how I don't want dual sticks. I'm not interested in pedals. I mostly play with keyboard and mouse. But I would like to have Hotas and test it out. That would be my preferable choice. But there's just no way. Like I just can't get my hands on anything here in Serbia. So it is what it is. One of the streamers that was actually kind of, I want to say, new to the community around me, Redrolled on Twitch. He actually said he's gonna send his T16,000s because I think he has gladiators as well,
Mhm.
and he's like, I'm just gonna
It does.
send you, and
The
I was like,
gladiators seem like a no-brainer, man. Like they really do. Like if you already have T16,000s and you're looking for something better, it's like the clear step up from there.
so he
Anyways,
calculated. I was like, no, it would be cheaper to buy it here, even though there's none. And it turned out to send. He's from Canada as well, so he was like, oh, it's no, but it's only $220, and I'm like, you're not sending that. Like, that's a lot. If it was a handover, sure, I can accept it, but like, holy moly.
$220
Yep.
to ship. A HOTAS? Or is that
Yeah, the
just the
whole
stick?
box. No, Hotas. It's a big
Oh,
box.
yeah.
Anyways, well, he checked and he was like, "No, it's okay, man. I'm gonna send it." And I'm like,
Dude,
"That's way too
no.
much. It's more than a new
Well,
one."
plus, like, yeah, if exactly, like, if you're gonna pay $220, you might as well just, like, tip that and then order a VKB, basically, and have it just shipped there.
But
Because I
then that,
guarantee you it'll be cheaper shipping. No, it 100% is. If you're buying and you're getting it shipped from a company, those companies have, like, agreements with
that
shipping companies that give
yeah,
them
but
a
let's not
lot
go
cheaper
too
shipping.
deep into this because Serbia and I already ordered a bass guitar once. It was some time ago, but still, I got the empty box, and I'm just not willing to pay something 200-300
Yeah,
bucks and get an empty box. And yeah, I
that's
cannot afford something like that. So
that's fair.
yeah, even if someone else pays for it, it's still I don't want that risk.
That would feel so bad
Yeah,
to open up an
yeah,
empty
yeah,
box
yeah.
like that. That's brutal.
Even the one that he would send, I told him, you don't want to do it because what if I get an empty box? And he's like, well, I don't care, we tried. And I'm like, you think that now, but it actually feels really crappy on both sides. So nah, keyboard and mouse
Well,
it is
maybe.
for now. By the time Star Citizen is released, I will probably be able to find Hotas even in Serbia, unless Flight Simulator 2037 comes out.
Well, I think more than that it was, well, maybe not more than that, but, like, obviously the main problem was,
Oh
okay, sorry, let me just rewind and just say
yeah,
that the virus
pandemic.
obviously put a an
Well,
issue
before the
on
wires came,
production.
it everything disappeared here because the demand is low in Serbia, so they're not just ordering things. Yeah, and then of course virus heads up, sure,
Yeah.
for the rest of the world at least. Anyways, I did a lot. I played a lot of Phase 2 soundtrack, and then Phase 3 came out, and I played a little bit of that. Um, the reason why I didn't play as much as I wanted is the first server I came in with my main account. I had to reset my main account and then I logged into the game and then all of my parts are missing. So my Hawk did not have my setup.
Dude.
So I was like, okay, sure, I'm gonna go with like whatever Hawk I have. My Retaliator was missing a quantum drive. It was really blah. And
You gotta, like, seriously, there's gotta be something customer service can do for you in this
nah,
cart, because
I'm
I
not the only
swear that
one. I'm
you're
not the only
having,
one.
yeah, but you,
No, I just play a
like,
lot more than you do. That's why it keeps happening. I play a lot. Um, I'm not the only one. I have other people around me who are having the same
really?
issues.
The
Yeah, yeah,
same stuff?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I gotta say, like, I have never encountered somebody who's had issues with persistence this consistently.
But this is new for me. I did not have ship parts missing that much. I still have the issues with like character, like armor and weapons missing, and it's so random. I don't know.
Hmm.
Anyways, I still went with the Hawk because it's the whole thing. And then we were doing it. The server I came in had it active. They were fighting the first Idris. I jumped down to Jericho, jumped to the Idris. Was amazed about how many people there are, and I was in a Hawk, so I was really flying super close to the Idris, trying to do some damage with the basic loadout, which is shit,
Yeah.
and shields and everything is just so bad. So I would have to escape all the time and come back and whatnot. And then in one of my escaping from being killed by one of the turrets on the Idris, that's what they were talking about inside Star Citizen. How is Idris attacking other ships like priority targets and whatnot? Now I
Yeah.
remember. And someone else rammed me from behind and died. So I can only imagine what ship were they in and how damaged they were if they rammed a
A
Hawk
hawk
in a
and
basic
exploded
loadout.
and you
They
survived.
exploded. I survived, but Crime Stat 3 just got killed by someone after that because I was so disappointed and ended up in a prison for an hour and a half. And you can't do shit. So
Is the
then
mining still not working?
it is, but now you have to like get out, get to mining, get out the clasher, get the ship, get the event is over.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's really bad. That's very bad, and I hated it so much. Then I relogged on my alt account, very disappointed. Where I have my in-game bot um, Titan, which is back after I did a reset. I had to do a reset. Remember, I could not spawn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I went back. So then I had to jump like 10 servers to find the event. Because it just wasn't on every server. Then I found the event and I went to the fight. And actually, it was amazing because now I had that first experience of going into the jail made it more enjoyable for me because I was so careful. Like I was so careful with like where I'm flying, how far. Like I was at the edge of my guns, making sure that there's no one around me. Like the maximum distance. It was actually amazing, and we killed all 3 Idrises. We did the whole event, and I really enjoyed it. Then I tried to do it a couple more times, and many things happen where like you either get the mission but it doesn't, the ships don't spawn. Like you get the mission, you go there and nothing spawns.
Hmm.
And you will see this happening a lot where people are like, hey, are the ships spawning? And people, and the server responds like whatever the global chat says, we don't know or not, and then people just jump out, try to find our server.
Hmm.
The great thing about finishing the first one, there was a guy in global who said immediately after it was done, hey guys, I'm gonna make a group, let's get out together and get to another server, which again an MMO feel. And I joined that group immediately. There was only 3 of us, and we decided it's not worth really jumping servers
Yeah.
with 3 people. So I was like, I'm just gonna wait on this server, maybe it happens again. It For an hour and a half it didn't happen again.
Really?
Yeah.
See, something changed then in phase 3 because in phase 2, like
Oh,
I hopped
20
into a
minutes
server.
after.
Yeah, exactly. Like immediately after it finished, and it only took like 20 minutes or so, maybe 40 minutes to start up again.
Yeah. No, I think
Which,
this was an
yeah,
issue with like trigger or something like that. It was not meant to be like this. I don't think so.
the ship spawning too is weird. I never noticed in phase 2 anything about
No,
like
no.
the
Phase 2
ships
was
not spawning
flawless.
properly and stuff like that. So
I don't know
wonder what
what
happened.
yeah. When you get there and do it, it's really amazing. And there are some interesting things. In phase 2, you could get up to 500,000 if you're doing combat stuff
Mhm.
throughout one event. Which meant it could take up to 4 hours. So you could technically make more if they were slacking and the more Idrises would come and you would like just keep killing them while the javelin stays alive.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of money even for the new players. However, with the phase 3, it's less money. I made about 100,000, I think. However, legend says if you last hit the Idris, you get 400,000, which
Oh,
is really cool.
I also have heard about like it being sliding scale based on the damage that you're doing. Apparently, a lot of the people who are firing torpedoes are getting like, 100 plus K.
Really?
Yeah,
For a
yeah. Like
hit?
yeah, there was guys who were talking about like, yeah, like getting 88K after the mission is done. People talking about like 130K after the mission is done. Apparently, it is dependent on the amount of damage that you
Maybe.
do.
I mean, I was in a Titan, so not too
Right.
much damage with 3 size 3 missiles that I used, and the
Yeah.
rest was just
Yeah.
whatever Gatling gun and 2 repeaters, so nothing special.
Yeah.
But I have to say, it was great seeing so many people in one place, and just the explosions were my first explosion. Someone clipped it, and I was shocked. It was I haven't seen it before, so maybe it's the same as on PTU or whatever, but it really felt good, and
Yeah.
it felt like you accomplished something. Um, yeah, I I enjoyed it. So the other thing that I did throughout this whole process, I decided I'm gonna set my main account that I usually play on that has a couple $100 on it that I usually use for trading ships, throwing ships to those who want to buy them and whatnot. I decided to completely stop playing that account, so I'm gonna make just like you and a lot of people. I'm gonna probably have a proper um lineup on that account and
Hmm.
maybe be ready for if I make an event or do something with the guys from the chat or and I decided to only play my alt account, and now I have a Titan on it and Aurora that is just starter. I have an ROC that I got in game as well. Titan and ROC are in the game, and I have a fully kitted out. Hopefully that's not going to disappear. Titan, and then I am already over 1 million, and I'm now thinking about what's the next ship I want to get in game. And I have to say that already makes it kind of more enjoyable because on that account I have only Aurora. It's $45
Hey,
account, so
Chegg,
I can't just
you
change
know
it.
what you should get next?
Hmm.
Cutlass.
Not happening. I actually made I made a list of ships that I might get. I can tell you what was on the list in the end. Tana.
Freelancer.
It wasn't a freelancer because I was I fly it so much on my main account, so whatever.
Oh, I
Um,
figured you'd get a freelancer.
uh, Tana. There's not much I can do in freelancer that I can't do in a Titan right now. Right now, because
True
trading
enough.
is crap. So and for
Yeah, that's true.
fighting, not that good. There was
No.
Tana. It was Atlas Red, so that I can maybe do some
Yeah.
FPS missions if I feel like.
Yeah.
Um,
That's legit.
Gemini, Starfarer.
Random choice, given
No,
that
I
you
love
just
that
said you.
ship. I love that
Yeah, I
ship.
know, but what can it do? Not really anything,
Okay,
like at
that's
all.
a choice. Is like I can make
Just
this
something. It's a
much
cool ship.
money with a $45 account because that thing is expensive. And then someone was
Fair
like,
enough.
"Why don't you get 890 jump?" And I was like, "That's too big for me to fly. I just don't feel like
Hmm.
I would even
Well,
fly it."
you should get an Andromeda because docking's coming.
Well, that was before we were talking about docking in that way. Like that was
Right.
before I saw the video. There were a couple more ships that I decided not to. And I think the in the end I think it's gonna be either Cutlass Red or Gemini. I don't know. I
Wait,
want
that
to
you go for
fight with a
next, you
Gemini.
mean, or
Yeah. I can make any amount of money with the Titan, man.
yeah,
It's really quick. I make 1 million in a day. It's that dumb.
sure.
In a Titan.
What about like? Okay, I know that you don't like cheese ships, but like Vanguard, you want to make money fast.
Okay, so here's the thing. I got myself a Vanguard in for credit, store credit, and I
Yeah,
was flying it for a day and I didn't enjoy it at all.
it is pretty nondescript. I don't know. I like it. It's just a
I would
brawler. You
I
can
was
just basically face smash your way through encounters.
I got myself also Saber instead, and Saber it was so much easier to do things with Saber than a Vanguard.
Really? Hmm.
Oh yes.
Was your Vanguard kitted out?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And Saber as well. Saber 3 times size 4 guns, 3 shields.
You can't do size 4, size 3.
Size 3, sorry. 3 times size 3
Yeah.
and 3
I have a Saber
shields.
too.
Super agile compared to Vanguard.
Mhm.
You can just fly around and
Vanguard,
smash things.
the reason I say Vanguard though is because you have that size 2 quantum drive, which means that if you have to
I
jump
know.
across system, it's super fast.
But doing bounty hunting, I'm not really jumping at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
guess
yeah.
it's true.
And then if I get something else, that's not a problem. You can claim your smaller ship that you're fighting with, and then you go into your Kali Red, or
Yeah.
if you want to jump fast, that can happen in Gemini for sure.
I have a collection of fighters I bought in game, and I basically just leave them at different locations for when I feel bored of
Oh,
like
that's really
wherever I'm
cool. I never
fighting.
thought about that. That's really cool.
So I have like my Gladius over in Crusader and my Talon, my Gladius and my Saber over in Crusader, and my Talon and my Vanguard over in Hurston. And yeah, and I just basically, depending on what I feel like flying and where I feel like doing bounties, I just go and pick up one of those ships from wherever.
I like that because it gives you like variety of gameplay for the
Mhm.
same loop, kind of. It's really cool.
I have an arrow randomly too. They must have changed the loner for
It's
something.
a loner for I have an arrow as well. Yeah, I don't know
Would it be
anymore.
from the Redeemer? Because they
It
changed the loaners from the Redeemer because they moved the Redeemer used to be a Vanguard Harbinger, um, and now it is a Valkyrie. So if they
oh
give you
wow.
a Valkyrie, I bet you they give you an arrow too.
Yeah, for Arena Commander.
Yeah.
My port side eye hurts for some reason. Very random.
Well, it's getting late there. Probably
No,
tired.
it's not that. It's
Eye
not that.
strain.
I don't know what it is. It's fine.
Caffeine.
Nothing crazy.
Caffeine makes my eye twitchies.
Maybe that's what it is. I mean, I have Coke Zero and coffee, so
Oh yeah.
that could be a reason. Okay, so that's what I did. I did have an issue with like not really feeling like jumping into the game that much.
Yeah. That's kind of where I was at too. We had this conversation a little bit before we started. Just kind of like I've seen the Xeno threat thing. I really enjoyed phase 2, but honestly for phase 3, I've seen videos, I've seen streams, and I didn't really feel the need to jump in and do it myself.
I'll be honest,
Part of that,
doing it once probably is okay, and then on top of that,
yeah,
there's been some speculations that we might get something in game and that this event is not coming back, like
I
maybe
heard
a
that the
vanity
CDF,
item. Hmm?
yeah, I heard CDF badges that you could throw
Badge
in
or
your ship.
something, whatever. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm streaming it anyways.
Yeah,
Let's just do it. But after I
I
did
don't
like
know,
two
like
times on both accounts, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna do random shit. I'm gonna do bounty hunting, whatever, something else.
yeah, I should probably go. Like a lot of this just kind of stems from like an overall feeling of burnout on the game, just with respect to like as far as as far as combat goes, it's still pretty much the same game that it's been for 4 years now. So like, and I've been playing it the entire time. So for me, the thought of like, going in and basically doing the same combat, except for this time, I just basically have to hold the trigger down and point at an Idris. Eh, you're right.
Listen,
You're right. I should do it
avoiding
just to go
avoiding
experience it.
friendly fire is a new gameplay mechanic. I'm not even
Yeah,
kidding.
but
Dude, there's 30 people firing random shit. It's like you
I
really
know.
it's
I don't
different.
want to. I don't want to go in and like have the new intense gameplay being not shooting friendlies.
No,
Like,
no. Not shooting friendlies. Not being shot by friendlies.
okay, there's
There's a
that.
lot of
That's something
lasers.
I will say that's something that they should absolutely have done for this event, and maybe they will
I
kind of going
agree.
forward. You should be able to dismiss the charges when anybody shoots you, not just the people in your group.
Mm, yeah.
Because,
Or if you could have a
'cause-
setting, like not just dismiss charges, but like if
mm,
so if they did this, if they had a setting for in the group auto dismiss charges until you get out of the group or change it, then I bet you people would join groups to do this together. Because
right.
then you're not gonna be,
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good call.
I'll
But
say
then,
one thing. The bounty hunting refreshed for me a little bit. This will not apply to you boomer players. I went from I've been using CFs the laser repeaters since I started playing the game. They just work fine for me, and I kind of enjoy the pace that I kill things with it. They were not changed since 3.8,
yeah.
so it's something that I can rely on any ship. And I changed my that Titan to um a ballistic cannon on the nose and two Gatling guns on the wings. And now
Mm,
the cannon has a really long cooldown, rate of fire, whatever. So I
yeah.
have to use it smartly, and you can see the impact on the ship. You can like see the wing flying off or stuff like that.
Yeah.
While if I'm in a
Are you
good
using
position, hmm?
Are you using the one with the explosive rounds? What are they? The CF 77s or something, 778s?
778, yes, yeah,
Those, yeah, those are the ones with the explosive
yeah.
rounds in them. I've heard that those are particularly effective
These
against
are
that
the
Idris.
strongest now. Oh no, I was
Yeah,
using this on regular bounty hunting. 1 versus 1, 1 versus 3, against bots, and then using Gatling guns when I'm behind the ship chasing it feels good. I don't want to overuse them because then I have to go and fucking rearm all the time.
Rearm.
So
Yeah.
that made me think about like using my guns in certain situations, like sandboxy, make your own, game more fun. But hey, it's different experience, so maybe try for a different loadout and have some fun with that. I don't know,
I changed my loadout. I used to change my loadouts pretty frequently, just because I liked kind of playing with different stuff. Especially when I first got the Vanguard, I was playing with like size 5 cannon on the nose, and like
Yeah, I was with that as well.
trying for repeaters, just trying to mix things up to keep it fun. So it's something I do like to do. It's cool that the CF778s are making a comeback though, because those used to be basically useless because of desync. Like
They're
something
back.
with something with the splash damage wasn't working properly. So yeah, it is cool that they're being used again. I heard specifically, I think it was Morph on ATC, talking about how somebody in their group loaded up a hammerhead
Yes.
with quad
Yep.
CF788s on all
And
turrets.
melted
Uh,
Idris.
Melted it, and specifically they talked about like how the first thing they would do with this hammerhead, because as a hammerhead you're vulnerable to that size
Mm.
10
Your
railgun,
cross
right?
section is like a fucking skyscraper, so
Yeah,
you get hit
comparatively.
super
and
easy.
and they'd fly in there, and just like all guns would just basically focus on the railgun, and you can actually kill the railgun apparently
You want to
on
hear
these
something even
Idrises.
crazier?
So they destroy that, and then they would continue to basically just use these CF778s to just pick off turrets basically until the Idris was like completely unarmed
Did
or
you
virtually
you
unarmed.
probably didn't make it to a point where Jared explained what happened in one of the streams where a guy in Aurora rammed the turret and destroyed it. And
Oh
they
no
were
way!
like, he killed himself in that, but he did more damage than he could ever do in the Aurora, actually,
Yeah,
and helped
that's funny.
everyone. And then there's a screenshot, you saw that on my Discord, where there's like 10 Argo moles mining Idris. Apparently,
Yeah, yeah,
that's a
yeah,
thing now.
yeah.
I think
The
they should
mining
change
lasers.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're going to. They're going to. Right now, it's just like a fun cheese thing. I do
It's cool.
remember that back in the when they had the UEE
Yes.
Idris
The
and stuff like
first
that
Idris, yeah,
in the
was
Fleet
killed.
Week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
some of the
Prospectors.
compositions they were running had
Mm,
prospectors in
yeah.
them specifically for the
I was
mining
killed
lasers.
by an Argo with a laser by someone stream sniping me from my own stream, so it's cool. In an Aurora, and I was like, no way you're gonna kill me with that. And it was like, it was really quick, bro. It was like, holy crap.
That's funny. Yeah, they'll change that eventually, but
Sure.
for now it's funny.
Yeah.
I like just for the screenshot of having all those moles like
And it's high
beaming
quality
at the
screenshot. Yeah, it's really
beaming
good.
at the Idris was like, that's cool.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm glad people did that.
Okay. We're
Kind of
done.
resonates with me because one of the things I've always wanted to do was convert a caterpillar into like a battle cat.
Well, yeah.
Got
Which we
four
can talk
size
about
fours
later.
on it, and I think it'd be hilarious to.
I actually want to see, like, I was talking to the guys that maybe doing bounty hunting missions in a caterpillar with
Yes, yeah,
two turrets active.
yeah.
Be
Especially if
interesting.
you those are size 4
They
guns
made
on
a
there. You
big
could throw.
change. I forgot. Like, this is so important. It was nowhere in the notes. This is the best change. One of the best changes since I started playing the game. You know how bounty hunting, you have to kill the first target, and then if you kill
Yeah.
the rest, you get what's the name?
Oh my god, did they change that so that you can pick off the other guys first?
Yes, you can strategize, kill whatever
Oh,
you want. You get paid, and
that's
then you can
so
kill the main
cool.
target if you want.
Oh
That
my
is
god,
so refreshing, dude. That's amazing.
that actually makes me kind of want to get into the
Right?
game
Because I
again.
can kill the fucking M50s and Buccaneers first and then focus that bigger ship or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Oh my god, finally. The thing that they didn't change, however, is
Sharing call to arms
sharing call to arms with the
bonuses.
team, which is sad.
Yep.
But
That's literally what I was gonna say. Now all they need to do is make it so that call to arms rewards are
even
shared
like
instead of the last
this,
person.
now you can go in with two friends and free for all kill whatever the fuck, because whoever kills the main target, we share it. And but
Yeah.
but then kills whatever because it makes it fast. You can kill small targets first, whatever.
Yeah.
That is so good. That should have been in like patch notes or something. Oh my god! Because people don't even try anymore. People don't even try. And the worst part is now we have these like chain missions where you have to kill 3 different targets, out of which usually 2 spawn
Yeah.
together. And I was
Yep.
like, okay, last patch I was so pissed off because I killed
Yeah.
the first
You don't
target
even
and then I fight these guys for nothing.
for
And
nothing.
and
Exactly.
sometimes
Yeah.
they lock you out of Phantom, so you have to fight them or like run, like I don't want to say what.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy this has changed. This is amazing.
Yeah. For sure.
Love it.
I agree.
Okay,
That's really cool.
topic. Our
Topic
topic.
one.
Topic only.
Topic 0.
Capacitor gameplay. We have different standpoints on this.
Yes, we do.
I think it's going to change the gameplay, but not that drastically, and I think it's going to be semi-boring.
I think capacitor gameplay has the potential to drastically change combat in the game. Will it change it drastically right off the bat? Maybe. But here's my logic with this. Right now, basically you can just hold down the trigger with a set of guns, and if they're not overclocked, you can hold the trigger down pretty much indefinitely. If not indefinitely, then for a long time. And
Sure.
the result of that, especially with maneuvering the way it is that any PvP fights you get into, even PvE for the most part, like there's no dynamic to the combat. It's just line up on that target, pull the trigger, and whoever can hit the most wins. Maneuvering is a waste of time. It's all just a DPS race. And with capacitors, if other Chris Roberts games, and frankly other games that use capacitors, are anything to go by, you have to be a lot more careful about when you're pulling the trigger, because you want to be sure that you're able to basically put down damage while you have the energy for it and hit, before you kind of run out of energy for your guns. And for anybody who's listening and doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about, capacitor gameplay is something that they're adding, which basically means that your guns and your thrusters, and I think your shields too,
Your shield as
have
well.
a finite amount of energy that they can expend before they have to recharge. So and this is a pretty standard mechanic in a lot of
We can mention like Star Wars Squadrons has this. I'm not sure about Battlefront, probably as well.
I don't remember it being in Battlefront, but
I don't know, but
okay.
you definitely have it in Elite Dangerous, which is usually 3 bars where you decide either having balanced mode, which is like a regular mode, or boosting either power, which is thrusters, or shields, or your guns. So guns would do like more damage, shields would shield you more, and thrusters would give you more maneuverability, more speed. However, what Maso said is it would make each one of these, especially guns, have kind of limited time of usage,
Yeah,
which
before
I
it has to recharge.
don't know if it's gonna happen for Star Citizen. Well, let's see. Um, so what you said, which I want, is exactly what I'm doing for myself right now with the cannon. Is like you have to wait for opportune moment to discharge your weapon.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you will be forced into escaping the enemy gunfire until you get another moment, right? So you will be punished if you don't do it
Well,
properly. However,
specifically, if you're not landing those hits,
yeah,
um, that means that you're out of energy. You can no longer deal damage until you recharge, and now, and if you weren't in a proper position to kind of put that damage out there to put your target on the defensive, now he can essentially just turn around and start dishing damage to you.
the way the shields are recharging right now in the game, I think this is almost impossible.
Yeah, but the shields are also going to have capacitors.
I know, but
So
let's see how this works out.
yeah, like this is a thing. Even if even if the shields stay the same right now, I think what would end up happening is if they put in capacitor gameplay, weapon damage is going to have to come up significantly to the point where when somebody is firing on you, it's a big deal and you should be trying to avoid rather than letting your shield soak it and then regen it. Because all of a sudden you're the amount of shots you can put out is finite now, right? Where it never has been really before. It's been semi-limited by heat, but not really, unless you're overclocking.
But even when it gets heat, like overheating, you just let go for like second and a half,
Yeah,
and you can
2
continue.
seconds exactly,
Yeah.
right? Um, yeah, so no, I still do legitimately think like that capacitor gameplay, if it's accompanied by a weapon damage boost, which I think they would probably
I
have to
hope
do.
not, man.
It,
Because
you
that would
you
mean
hope that
that Vanguard with size 5 can hit an Aurora and one-shot it.
yeah,
What
that would take
happened?
some
Like,
balancing
what
to
kind
do.
of gameplay is that?
I don't know though. At the same time, it's a fucking size 5 gun, man.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's easy to land first shot. You can stealth
well,
yourself and have a
especially from
big...
the size 5.
Huh?
Because the size 5's got the range on anything an Aurora can field.
And if you have stealth components, like stealth works right now in the game. And if
It
Aurora
does, yeah.
cannot pick you out from the range that size 5 has and send
Yeah.
the missile with it, not Aurora, Avenger.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The size 3 guns aren't too far
No, no,
behind
no.
the
What I'm saying is Avenger can die in one shot if you get more alpha damage on a Vanguard plus a missile.
yeah. It would definitely take some balancing. Actually, I never thought about that before, and that's kind of derailed my line of thinking. Like
Sorry.
what what
I tend
what
to do that.
happens when you have a Vanguard that can potentially one-shot things?
Not only,
I
listen,
guess
you want me to tell you even more fucked up thing? What about the new Crusader ships that are coming in 2
the
patches?
size 7 guns, yes. Yeah. Which yeah. I
And
mean,
then
those already
you're a
even
prospector.
even with the current even with the current system right now, if somebody came at you with a size 7 Gatling, they're going to absolutely dismantle whatever they're shooting at.
Most
That's
of the
why I
small
have one.
ships. I don't. But here's the
What my
thing, like what
Saber is
about the
turning into.
prospector? What about a prospector? Like they already have an issue, like they're not being able to defend themselves, escape. Prospectors die so easy and they're easily visible from
Okay,
anywhere in...
but what's the alternative? Like you already said that like even right now, if you listen to Moist Noodle talk, like good fights that he's having with other people are taking like 20 plus minutes, you know? So like if you all of a sudden throw in now limited ammo, quote unquote, for your salvo, like the amount of shots you can put out before you have to recharge, and the damage doesn't change at all, then nobody's gonna die ever.
Yeah.
So there has to be a damage boost.
I
And
know what can be done. So I'll take World of Warships for example. So there's 3 kinds of ammo: high explosive, armor penetrating, and semi armor penetrating. And this semi armor penetrating is very dangerous for smaller ships such as destroyers. But only one line of ships has it, which is Italian cruisers, which is like a middle class ship. So now the Italian battleships are coming in the game. So these are big armored ships, and they're having SAP. Okay, so they would be able to defend themselves against destroyers who are their arch enemies. However, what Wargaming did is salvo of SAP from the battleship has a penalty and deals only 10% of damage if it hits. Now, how is this being explained through like immersion? I don't know, because there's already the reason smaller ships are not afraid of armor penetration is because they can overpen and like go straight through the hull to the other side, not activate on
right,
time, right?
okay.
The
Right.
SAP
Yeah.
ones have short fuse, they activate on almost on contact, and they can't just penetrate through, so they just had to add small ship protection, kind of. Otherwise, it's
Right.
broken. That's it.
Okay. So you think basically you could give like a damage reduction for like
Maybe
like
like
large
small
size
component
weapons?
chips. You know, like I don't know,
I don't know
from
either. I mean,
size 4 or higher. I don't know.
ideally it should be that, like an Aurora, well, let's be honest, like comparing an Aurora, like putting an Aurora in a fight against a Vanguard is probably not the best example to use anyways, because like in my opinion, in pretty much any
Let me tell you,
situation, that Vanguard should wipe the floor with with
the
an Aurora.
realistic
But
thing is Vanguard should need like 1 minute to lock on Aurora, while Aurora has this information about being locked on. Big small ships, right? For like 30 seconds, some crazy amount of time. Because it's a small ship, you should not be able to lock on it that easy.
doesn't feel good to me though, like artificially restricting lock on time.
No, but it's
If
not artificial. Bigger
it
ships
is
should have issues locking on smaller ships. It's always been like that.
in what
In games, in
I
TV
have
shows, in movies.
like what are we talking? Are we talking
Like
locking missiles?
locking targets.
Like getting a target lock?
Yeah.
I don't know. That should depend on your sensor. It should depend on how close you are. Plus, like the Vanguard's a military ship, so like if
So
it had a military sensor suite in it, why does it taking that long to lock
because the
onto
target is too
like
small.
a civilian ship? I don't know. I don't know. That doesn't feel good to me. That doesn't feel
Does
good
it
to
feel
me.
good to you that you're a new player and you're idling next to Port Olisar and you just explode?
No, but also at the same time, like artificially restricting
It's a
or
game,
like
dude.
yeah,
It's a game. I
like
I am
at the
afraid of
same
these
time,
capacitors. I think they will either make no difference or they will fucking break the game for a lot of players.
I think they'll break it initially, but I still like there needs to be something that changes the current dynamics of combat, because like I said, I mean, with the weapons the way they are right now, and with shields the way they are right now, and with maneuvering the way it is right now, circle strafing and jousting is the only way that combat
Yep.
tends to play out, and that's fucking boring. Like
True.
there needs to be dynamism and different phases, so it feels like combat is going back and forth. Like right now, there's literally no point to trying to outmaneuver somebody. You're just letting them basically get shots on you for free. At least with capacitors, if
Unless you
they're
can
opening
bug
fire,
their pip.
yeah, jutter the pip around, which is also stupid.
That's not supposed
Um,
to be there anyway.
no, they said
Like
they're
think
fixing
about
that too, but
listen, think about this. Like ballistic or laser weapon from your Vanguard has time to travel to that Aurora. Not a lot of
mhm.
time, but there is a time.
Yep.
What if Bano Defender appears and instantly like just clicks the button and kills an Aurora?
Oh, they took that out.
Oh, I think they
They
took
took
it
that
out
out.
only because of the server desync.
They took it out very specifically because desync, but also that they can't balance it
No, it's in the
because
game. What are you talking about? I
no,
saw
it's not.
Defender shooting with that on a fucking Idris.
The tachyon guns?
I don't know
Okay, well
what
then
the
they put
name
those
is, but
in very recently because they very specifically took them out, and I remember them even saying like it's too tough for them to balance that style of weapon right now, the hit scan weapons.
I mean we can
And I
check what's on Defender right now. Keep going. I'm gonna just check it out because I had a Bano Defender next to me in phase 3 in my Titan, and it was very specific noise that it makes when it shoots, and there was no projectile going towards the Idris, but you could see where it's hitting the Idris. Like because the new shield
hmm,
tech, you can actually see which ship, which is another amazing experience. Like seeing which ship hits Idris where because of the how the shield tech works, which is amazing.
but I think ultimately I think at any we're MMO players here, man. Like if you're level 1 and a top level dude decides to come by, like he will absolutely one shot you. And does
What?
it feel good? No, but that's how the game works, you know?
But
Like I think
you're not level
at some
1.
point at some point we just have you are if you're in an Aurora, you're in a starting ship.
What if you're in a Hawk? What if your choice of gameplay is smaller ship? Are you level 20 if you're flying Idris?
It's different when you're talking about other fighters, because also there's armor and stuff to take into consideration. But at some point,
Sure.
like even in those lighter ships, you have to accept that you are going to be more vulnerable to heavy hitting weaponry.
I agree.
At some point. So like,
Chance to miss, then.
well, I mean, chance to miss should be based on the fact that those smaller ships should be able to outmaneuver
Not if they
that
get
larger ship.
killed in the first hit.
Well, then don't get hit, I
Oh,
guess.
come on. Stealth. Like, I don't. Let's see. I mean, we're like, yeah, I don't know. We don't really know, but I mean, what can you know? They're called singe cannons. The guns size 2, 4 times size 2. Vehicle tachyon cannon. It is a part of the Singe series. Tachyon cannon is a long-range, high-damage cannon like much of the Bano technology. Its real origin is unknown, but based on the fact that it differs from other Bano engineering, UE historian, blah blah blah. So it's tachyon cannons. What is that? What you said? I can't hear you. Yeah. Are you muted?
Cat went by and knocked the cable
You're
out
back.
of my mic. So what I was saying is like, is that in the game right now that you're reading?
It's updated. That's what Bano has right now.
Yeah, but is that in the game right now, or are you on the website?
I am
if
on the
you're
website. I don't have it, but
website of lies,
no, but it's not on RSI.
it's on hardpoint.io.
It's on tools, and I'm going now to crap. What's the name of the one where you can set up your own loadout?
Urkel or
Urkel.
hardpoint.io.
Yeah, I'm going to Urkel now to check as well.
Yeah, I'm actually just gonna go look at my defender. But I thought they took them out because and in part because like balancing a hit scan weapon, man. Whew, that's
no, they're there. Singe 2, Tachyon guns.
Okay. I don't know. I still feel like at some point I don't think you'll be one shot by them, and I don't think that the damage should go up that far to a point where it's like one shotting that's one shotting people, but like, making it so that it is heavy damage, and if you don't avoid, you are dead very quickly. I'm okay with that. Like again, like I just want there to be a reason for when somebody is shooting you to have to maneuver to avoid that fire instead of just turning around and shooting back.
Okay, how about this? What if there's a component for each ship that completely mitigates the first hit? Like some kind of a shielding technology.
Well, that's again, like this is all based off of you assuming that it will be possible to one shot.
If you up alpha damage of a size 5 ballistic cannon, it's the numbers we're talking about. It will just one shot Mustang. It will just disintegrate it.
Well, it doesn't one shot right now.
No, it doesn't.
But okay, let's see. Loadout manager. Of course, Mobiglass is I love this Mobiglass. I love how I can't actually get to my ship list because it's loading or something.
Yeah, you just have to wait for a little bit, but yeah.
There we go. Oh, they do have the Singe cannons. Okay.
You can't put them on other ships, but you have them on Defender.
Oh, maybe that's what they did.
Yeah.
They just made it so you couldn't install them on other ships.
I would like those on my Hawk. Thank you.
That's why Dark Law was flying his Defender the other day. Well, I don't know.
Fake to rail guns. I mean rails.
I suppose this capacitor gameplay kind of goes into imagined territory, but I still think that with a balance, with proper tuning and balance, it could finally make combat dynamic like I want. You know, and especially like the whole thing about boost juking right now. Like the only thing you're really doing is like boosting and trying to avoid that overheat. But like you already said, all you have to do is stop doing that for a couple seconds and you can do it again. Um, you know,
Sure.
like capacitor and then having like your energy levels kind of you know, like your capacitor kind of like regulating how rapidly you're applying that boost means that you have to be more strategic about when exactly you're boosting. And for example, you might save that boost for when somebody is lined up on you and actually trying to apply damage. So it's like your capacitor managing you're managing your thruster capacitor versus their management of their weapon capacitors and stuff like that. And then you know, like then it might actually make you know like the add additional kind of weight to sliding the power triangle around too, right? Like if you're going up against a slower moving ship and you're like reasonably certain that you could like line up and stay lined up for a long period of time to put damage out, you might want to crank your power all the way over to weapons, you know, so that your capacitor stays charged for longer or charges faster. um Ditto for engines. If you're just like, I'm not going to be shooting here, I just need to like just avoid, you know, play defensive until you can jump out or until reinforcements arrive or something like that, you might slide that triangle back over to shields or to engines in order to kind of like have more defensive capability and stuff like that. You
I
know,
think the
like I
combat in general is too fast for something like this to like make sense. And I see the only that we come back to what I said before the stream, which you will disagree probably, but I think the Star Citizen 1 versus 1 will never be a thing. And
no,
this might only work out in fleet battles, kind of,
yeah,
or
yeah.
small group battles, and that's it. It just,
I
I don't know.
I I think you're right in saying that 1v1s will be rare because I do agree with that as well. Like if you're in especially okay, let's go into Imagine territory a little bit here. And if you are in a situation where you have physicalized damage, where like, you know, like where repairs are expensive, where dying is expensive, you know, and stuff like that, and you're somebody who likes to get into combat and specifically against other players, you know, you're not going to be just rocking solo. You're going to be squatting up and going out with people because it's safer, you know,
Sure.
and your chances of succeeding are higher. So no, I do agree. I do agree in that like 1v1 I don't think will be as common as everybody says. And actually this is something that Nubifier has said quite a bit as well. You know, like the whole, you know, well, this can't be balanced because this ship versus this ship and blah 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 blah
Mm.
blah. And that's one of the things he's been on record with a couple times saying that like that it's going to be more about like what composition of
Composite,
is your
yeah,
squad
which is your strategy basically. Or
as opposed to
I
just
mean,
like you know
if you
what
can't
ship you're
set up
flying.
because you don't know, you're gonna go in blind in PvP. Like if you're attacking someone's station or whatever that is protected by human players, I mean, you don't know. You gotta bring more guns than you need. However, if we go to PvE, technically like dungeons, raid systems, whatever we call it at the time, then you know probably what you're going to face in
Yeah,
advance, and then you can have tactical decision of which ships to
yeah.
bring in.
But even in PvP, like you'll have something of an idea. Like you'll
Maybe you're
have
gonna
to
have
like
to
you
scout or
definitely
something.
yeah. Like for example, if we're using the assaulting a base example, then yeah, absolutely you'd scout it out and you'd see like okay, so they have defensive emplacements, so we're going to need at least one torpedo bomber kind of a thing or
Yeah,
something
but
like that,
ship
right?
spawning, the ships not being physicalized in the game all the time, kind
Yeah,
of kills the
which means
whole scouting idea, unfortunately.
well, I don't think it does. How do you figure? How do you think it kills scouting?
You cannot know what the enemies have.
No, but you can have a rough idea. Well, this is kind of my next thing I was going to say is that I think building a comp for PvP will be likely about building a really solid balanced composition that can handle a lot of things. But like if you're doing something specific like assaulting a base, that's where I think you could be a little bit more specific and say, we're absolutely going to need a ship that can do this. We're absolutely going to need a ship that can do this. And then from
Yeah, but you
there,
don't know what can fly out of that base. That's the problem.
totally. And that's why the rest of your squad needs to be, potentially built in such a way that it's just a really strong, generalized kind of like combat squad that can that works well, that plays off each other's. Actually, this might be the better description. Instead of like planning your comp off of like what the enemy could be doing, you'd be planning your composition off of what ships work really well together.
Sure, but more guns will win.
Sure.
I don't think we're gonna
But
have balanced combat in general. Like you will probably know the outcome of the combat before it even starts in most cases,
maybe.
which is reality. You know, if states decide to attack Serbia, well, Serbia can just say, "Please don't." Or
Yeah.
in history, we wouldn't say that, and then not a good choice. But
Yeah. Sorry, cats are running everywhere and I'm getting quite
that's
distracted.
amazing.
I usually keep the door closed and I didn't today. Um
Uh, that's cool.
uh but yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that the game is quote unquote balanced in such a way that it isn't so predetermined, but I think in some of those cases, especially if somebody is able to do a little bit of scouting beforehand and
I mean, we have that
and
as an idea. Like we have Terrapin and stuff like that. You should be
yeah.
maybe if certain base modules can hold finite amount of ships there, like you only have one
Yeah.
size 5, 3 size 2. I don't know, or any combination up to this number. Then you can know what to expect, and then you can't spawn any amount of ships in one base.
Right. Well, I think that'll be the case anyways. Well,
We don't know.
I don't know, man.
That's way
No,
off topic, though.
this is way off, and this is where we start getting into some of those conversations about
Sure.
like, is this just a good idea from a boomer gamer perspective, or
Yeah.
is this a good idea from like a game perspective? Because like the way that they have said they want to take the game is you only have whatever ships are actually physically there,
Yeah.
and you can only fit as many ships as
Okay.
are actually physically fit in there. But will it end up turning out like that?
I hope
Who
so.
knows?
Even to a point
Kind of
where
to an extent.
Terrapin or something like that, or maybe what's the name? Drake, the
Harold.
Herald could like scan potentially and know exactly which ships are stored or registered to
Yeah,
that base.
yeah,
But then they might or might not be there, but they're registered to that base.
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
that's
honestly, it's those situations where if it's possible to really scout out the terrain, scout out like the base, the defenses and stuff like that, and kind of know exactly what you're coming up against,
I mean,
that's where I could see the combat being very
no, that would make it
what I'm
so
looking for.
one-sided, man. Because
Yeah,
if
well
you
that's what I
know what
mean.
they have, you will bring more guns, and that's it. However, if you could kind of hack your signature and lie about what you have inside,
This is also under the premise that
absolutely.
those ships
Okay.
are even manned too, right? So
What do you mean, man? Well,
well,
you don't know.
they get like if you're scanning a hangar and you're like, "Oh my god, there's like 47 Hornets in there." For all you know, there could be only like 3 guys who are in
Yeah,
the
but you're
base at
willing
that
to
time.
risk?
So, I don't know. I mean
Because
that's
the
the name of the
station
game, right?
defenses should keep you up for long enough for everyone to wake up and defend their base. I don't know. Are
Yeah.
your cats like pumas and panthers? You're afraid for your
No,
life?
I'm afraid for her knocking over this green screen because it's getting close to dinner time and she's being very insistent
uh,
and also one of them is up on the printer up there
how
looking
many cats do you have?
like 4 with 4 cats. And he's looking like he's gonna just like bail down at any point and possibly smash keyboards and knock over drinks and whatever else because he's an asshole. Or as it turned out, like 5 minutes ago,
Turn on the
bump my
microphone.
mic and rip out the microphone cable.
Living with the
Anyways,
beasts.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm proclaiming this topic closed.
Capacitor gameplay closed, I guess. At
I
least
don't
we won't
know.
have to wait long. At
Yeah,
least we won't have to wait
exactly.
long because it's actually on the progress tracker. But I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that, again, with the vehicle team saying that they're focusing really hard on getting combat to a point where it's feeling better and stuff like that this year. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that capacitor gameplay ends up just making things more fun and interesting and more tactical, rather than just making it so whoever gets the first hit in wins. So
I hope that I can be proved wrong, and it makes a completely new and exciting experience. That will be the
yeah,
best. Of course, that's what I
yes,
want. There's no doubt
something
about
like
that.
that's got to give because I got to say, like right now I've played the shit out of combat in this game and I'm kind of done with
Slightly
it.
boring, especially
So
PB.
when is that? When is the progress tracker? When is that?
I don't know. That's
Capacitor?
your thing. I don't know.
Yeah, they've added so much to it now. I'm just like,
Yep.
I forget where everything is. So I have to like go through again and like reacquaint myself with where stuff is. But
I mean, that should be coming very soon, like next 2 patches or something.
yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was scheduled for Q2. Missile
Or
operator mode.
Q3.
Oh, there's shield capacitors, which are Q2
Mm.
looking, or the work's done Q2. I don't know if they'll make it in Q2. Oh, weapon capacitors. Oh, okay, weapon capacitors won't be. Apparently, weapon capacitors are going for a little longer.
How can we even
Uh,
get like different capacitors in game? What would that even bring, man?
well, like you were saying right now, with like just how the shields are, like how the shields can regenerate really quick. Putting shield capacitors in the game could kind of negate some of that, like the fast regen builds a little bit. You know what I mean? So that's something. But yeah, weapon capacitors aren't done until Q4, and even then, they may not make it into the
Yeah.
game. Then that's
Yeah.
the progress tracker. I hope shield capacitors come in before that. I don't know. Again, like that's one I think like has less capacity to completely fuck up fuck up the game right now. What are your
Uh,
thoughts on that?
if the ships become unkillable,
I think it'll be the opposite, if anything.
like too easy to kill.
I think that well, like if you build your ship with stealth components now, a stealth component and a stealth shield and like a high capacity shield, your shield regen is so fast that all you really have to do in a light fighter is just evade for a little bit and your shields will be back to full very
Mm.
quickly. Um, Adding shield capacitors could potentially negate that because like you're you only have a finite amount of energy to recharge those shields before those capacitors themselves need to recharge. Um, let's see what it actually
Let's see
when
what
complete.
comes. I'm getting tired of this topic, honestly,
Okay,
because we don't
okay,
have
fair enough.
anything really to add. I think it's literally imagine right now, especially now that I did not even know that these things are coming like in separate. Oh god,
Yeah,
that's gonna be
honestly, I
interesting.
didn't either. I thought it was all coming at once, but yeah. Just says that when complete, players will have the ability to manage the amount of extra energy distributed to shields, allowing them to choose between maximizing defenses or using that power to attack or escape.
Hmm.
So we shall see. Okay, moving on. You're
All
bored of
right.
the topic. That's fine. It's not a hell of a lot more to say about it until we actually have some hard data.
We need more info.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will sound strange, but our imagination station, which is the next part of the show, we called it simply Caterpillar. Um, but it stems from actually us getting something to the game that a lot of people expected or were hoping for a long time, which is I always forget how this is like called, but please help me, Mas.
Modularity.
Modularity, yeah. Some ships that we have in the game are modular, kind of, or parts of them are modular, and obviously Caterpillar being one of them. One of my favorite ships, except for it's made by shit company. Um,
I,
it should have
I
been Misk.
I don't know, man. It's just suits Drake so well. I mean,
Misk or Argo, that's it.
I get the brand. I get the brand hate a little bit, but at the same time, I think it's nonsensical because I don't know. But that's just something that I've kind of made as my
To be
personal.
fair,
Um,
like brand attaching to a brand makes the game more fun for me.
it does, yes, and that's where it's kind of like, okay, fine, you know.
Sure. Yeah. It's more
But
on almost like a role playing part, but in the end, it's because there's some brands like I love. I really feel good flying Misk ship or RSI ship or and
this is
I
something.
yeah.
The reason it kind of like rubs me the wrong way is that it's kind of something that I've kind of recently decided to counter in my own damn it, cats in my own life insofar as uh I just realized that I was attaching myself to real life brands, and then when I really stopped and thought about it, I didn't really know, you know, like it was just a misplaced sense of loyalty and didn't really have much to do necessarily
Sure.
with that brand specifically. So I just kind of started looking at things a little bit more objectively myself. Like for example, I used to be diehard BMW. I loved BMW guys or BMW cars, and I loved the brand, and I loved, you know, I loved kind of like how they built their cars and stuff like that. And I just found that it made me it colored the way that I was looking at other brands, you know? And I was like I was seeing other brands as not as good, even though from a numbers or a performance or, you know, or other perspectives, you know, they were as good or sometimes
Sure.
better than
But
BMW.
let me ask you this: is there a brand that you know you don't wanna drive in real life?
Yes.
Case closed.
Yeah.
I don't
But
mind
it's
any
based
other
off of
comp. So I have my favorites, and then everything else is fine. And then I cannot stand Drake. Does that make sense?
see, but the reason that I'm saying that there are brands that I would never drive are just because I don't like any of the cars that they put out, or I don't like the durability of their products.
Exactly. Well, that's what it is.
So
Like, would you drive Yugo from Zastava? No, because it will fall apart while you're driving it.
yeah,
So
but that's not
that's
the case with Drake
yes,
right
it
now.
is. Yes, yes,
Oh, come
yes, it
on.
is. That's the thing. They use cheap parts. That's the whole thing about Drake. What do you mean? What the fuck?
That's not in game right now.
It's not in game right now. We're talking like long term. I don't care about like what is now happening in the game. Who cares? We're playing an alpha. Like it should play a critical role when the game comes out. Drake
This was
should
a total
be
tangent.
shit.
Yes, it
Well,
should.
technically. Yeah, sure. It's a tangent.
But it should also be like super easy to find parts and replace,
If
which
you
is what
survive.
they were. If you survive, yeah.
Well, yeah. I'd rather pay a bit more to survive than
Anyways, this isn't actually
no.
the topic is about. The topic was about the modularity of the caterpillar, but
Actually, the
I kind
topic
of
is not even
tangented
well, kind of.
because of the Drake hate.
It's more of like what are we going to what would we think we're going to be able to do with the caterpillar, because right now, and to a point fairly, Drake caterpillar for a few more weeks probably is the most utilized and the best cargo vessel that we have in the game, with
Yes,
576 cargo units, I think, SU units, um
yeah,
which is
it'll
a
soon be
lot.
replaced by the C2.
Soon, yeah, exactly. But they will still be very, very close. Like 600 versus 570 is like not that big of a difference. Still going to be one of the, and then until we get the real haulers of the game, right?
Yes,
Which
yeah,
are,
the
uh,
Hull series
yeah,
primarily.
haul from yeah, Misk. Um. Anyways, what a lot of people might not know, is that actually Drake Caterpillar is the base empty version right now, that has a detachable bridge basically that turns into a smaller ship, and one, two, three, four, I think four modular sections. I think the
Yes,
last one you cannot change, like the front of the ship.
I'm
Um,
not actually certain, but that would make sense. Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't matter. So it's 4 or 5s. Uh, it says front cargo bay, and then for the other ones it says cargo module. I'm looking at the schematics here. So
Interesting. Okay.
anyway, so most of the usable area of this ship is interchangeable. So just to put the perspective to everything, the ship itself is 111 meters long and 32 meters wide. It has 4 huge thrusters and subthrusters. Port side, there's a bridge that it's actually detachable ship itself.
Which we should probably actually be seeing as detachable
Hopefully this year, I
soon.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully this year.
I kind of wish that was the first choice. I'm not gonna lie, because that would make that would be it. Like for me, because I would have a small ship, and
Yeah.
then I would have my big ship that I can attach to.
It makes sense that they did the Constellation first.
Sure. Which I mean, I'm just like this. I
Yeah.
wish it was this one because that's what I would like
Yes.
to have. That's all.
Yeah, totally. I'd much sooner have a Caterpillar than a Constellation as
Exactly.
well.
Um, Retaliator as well is a great choice. So, but it's fine. Whatever they do, like it's. Well, actually, Retaliator is going to be. Oh no, we're talking about the touchable chip.
Yeah. The
Anyways,
Retaliator is scheduled to be modular this year,
yeah,
actually.
exactly. The bridge is actually split into 2 sections. The starboard section was like an engineering area or whatever, and then and then in the inside. So what's really fun for me with this ship, just a small intro. Inside the actual ship, you have living quarters with beds, like cooking module, toilet, no doors because fucking Drake.
Because Drake. Gotta
Jesus
save
Christ.
that money.
You
Gotta save
have
those production costs.
you have engine room, massive engine room. You have server blades room, I think. And then you go into the modular part, which is right now cargo. You have 2 turrets, and the fun part is the detachable ship actually is double decker, where on top you have several stations, and then the like pilot seats. The pilot and co-pilot seats similar to Cutlass Black or any Cutlass, as a matter of fact, and then under it you have 2 beds and another cooking station, another toilet shower combo without fucking doors, and an engineering station. So this small detachable ship is actually amazing. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
but
not going to
like
be too good in the
okay,
atmosphere, but like,
but let's focus on let's focus on the thing that like potentially is the most game changing about this ship here, and that is those like that modularity.
you
And
think so?
I think
Wait.
oh,
We might
absolutely.
disagree here because I think it's as important and game changing as detaching that bridge is for the
Yeah, but
complete gameplay of this ship.
o- okay, sure, but like when you're buying a Caterpillar, you're buying it to do something. You're not buying it for that little ship that's on the side. And and
Wait,
specifically with
I disagree.
okay,
So
but the
why
topic of this is modularity.
it's not? It's my topic.
Oh, it's
So let me.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Caterpillar.
You misled me, man. You said you were going to talk about modularity, and instead you're
Modularity
just
is a
going to.
huge part of it for sure because that changes the gameplay. But hear me out. Like if you're buying a cargo ship, why would I have Caterpillar instead of C2, for example? Is it because I
Right
can
now?
right now? Right now, no. But like when the game comes
Okay.
out, is because I can leave my Caterpillar to be loaded or or unloaded while I'm
Oh,
doing something else with my
yeah, that's true.
small ship. So this is the selling point for me. Whatever my modules are, or even
Actually, doesn't
better,
have bad armaments on it anymore either. What is
yeah,
it? Four gimbal size 2 on that
yeah,
small ship right now?
yeah, which
That's
is
Cutlass armament.
exactly. And I don't think it has any missiles, but it also doesn't it have a tractor beam with it as well, or something like that?
Tractor beam's on the other side.
Okay. Oh yeah, it is on the other side.
But wait, does it have? It must have shields.
Of course, it has shields. It must have all the
Where are they though?
components, right? Probably size 1.
Hmm.
This thing is actually not that small. Remember, it's 2 decks.
Yeah.
Visually, like physically, right now, I don't know where they would put it, but they would have to change a little bit for sure, because otherwise they would be
But
invisible.
I guess like this is kind of like this goes back to the original selling point of the Caterpillar was that it was like not supposed to be just simply a cargo ship. It was supposed to be a very versatile ship, which is something that's like that's kind of Drake's MO because like Drake is marketing to the people out on the fringes where they need something that's rugged, repairable, and versatile. And that's the Caterpillar to a T. And that's what it was supposed to be. So like with modularity especially, like and the detachable like
Bridge or
cockpit
whatever.
and stuff like that, the tractor beam on the other side, like the Caterpillar really is a super versatile ship.
Mm.
And depending on how the modules actually work, like early on when the Caterpillar was released, I don't know if this is in the brochure or whatever, but early on in the Caterpillar's concepting, they talked about it like even potentially being like a center point of small pirate fleets and stuff like that, just because of the modularity in those cargo bays, like being able to kind of switch them out for something that's kind of more salvage or repair focused or refueling, refueling focused and stuff like that too. And
Also rescue. Like you can have
yeah,
medical. Let's like this is all imagine.
yeah,
Some of these
potentially, yeah.
things are
That's why
mentioned,
it's
but
called Imagination Station.
yeah, exactly. But some of these things are mentioned in the original brochure, which actually like not all ships have them. But the Caterpillar one, if you go to RSI website and you go to standalone ships, choose Drake and then Caterpillar, on the right side under the name you have a beautiful brochure with a lot of great like images of concept and a lot of ideas that can explain what the Caterpillar is
Yeah.
supposed to be as in their idea. It's amazing. And well, here's some crazy things that I am thinking of. By the way, the parts looks like they're on the outside of the detachable ship, like the shields and all that. Like you can't access them from the inside, from what I'm seeing here. Anyways, the thing is,
Does
right
make sense.
now it's um cargo ship, but
Yes.
we know potentially it can be a medical ship. And think about like that's basically it's not like first stage ship then like Cutlass Red. It actually can work with Cutlass Red because you can have a small hospital in this ship, technically.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just using the Cutlass Red modules, then it won't be a very good hospital.
For sure.
Um,
But why would you
because
have
it'll
that?
it'll be just basically like a triage
Yeah. But even like
thing.
that, actually. Like if you get into a place after combat and Cutlass Red can scan for like
Yeah.
survivors, take them and then transfer them to multiple modules of the same stuff, and then Caterpillar can actually transport a lot of survivors to the actual
To
hospital.
yeah.
And I'm
Well, and
looking at
that's
this
that.
from PV perspective more than PvP, to be fair. Like imagine
I
a
think it
big
has
rescue
applications
mission.
for PvP too,
Sure,
though.
it would be
Like
kind of slow, don't you think? Like
well,
being
it's
in a
it's
Caterpillar, laying in a bed for too long until I pick up everyone else and then take you to the hospital after like 3 hours
I
or
no, no,
so.
no, 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 no. I just mean the Caterpillar in general. Like
For
depending
sure,
on what modularity actually ends up
yeah, yeah,
being and what it enables the ship to do, I could see the Caterpillar absolutely being something that's utilized in PvP scenarios as well.
let's see.
And
Let's try like realistically first. What do we expect it to? So cargo, medical, like search and
yeah, because
rescue.
that makes sense because the Cutlass Red is like this one of the things they've said about Drake ships in general is that
They
they're
will
pretty
share,
much all interchangeable.
right?
Um,
Then obviously kind of like interdiction slash bounty
oh
hunting,
yeah,
right?
could you put for a PvP situation? Could you actually put a full sized quantum interdiction
Because blue
module
has
in
it,
there?
right?
Well, no, no, no. But I mean, like the Mantis module, basically, one that could actually pull um out
Out of
of
the jump,
quantum as
yeah,
well. Yeah,
maybe. But also you can have cells in there as well for for the
yeah.
bounties in one of the
That
modules.
because we know that like in fact actually the Titan initially. back in not the Titan, the Avenger specifically, it used to be
Avenger Stalker.
said that the Stalker would be able to you'd be able to pull the
Yes.
pods out of there and turn it basically into a Titan.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're
So
still with that idea on board, but
so
yeah.
if they're planning on doing well, I guess Cutlass Blue has them as well. If they're planning on doing those as a module, then yeah, it stands to reason that it could be like prisoner transport. Honestly, like
Wait.
there's
Some are still like support, as in repair parts, maybe docking to it and small repairs
I don't see how that'd
or
work
rearm
without like serious rearm. I could well, basic yeah, but even then, like how does that work, right? Like how does it rearm
docking
ships
collar.
without major changes? Yeah, but there aren't any docking collars on it. That's what I'm saying, right?
What if
Like
the wait? What if the module has docking exit?
that's kind of where I I really I don't know if they'll be able to do that because so far as I'm aware, the idea of modularity is that it's strictly on the inside of the ship, so it doesn't actually have to change the outside of a ship at all.
I
So
think
this
I
is where
agree
we
with
will
you
just have to wait and see on
for
the
sure. It's
on modules,
imagination,
but
right? But from what
yeah,
I think and from what I've seen from the actual brochure, the port side of the ship where catwalk is, I don't think you will be able to change anything there. But then the whole like what now is
mm,
SEU area and the
yeah,
door
yeah, yeah.
is interesting because you already have different door design on the brochure that actually opens and goes down as a lift instead of like double opening like what it is now.
Actually, you know what? You might be right because let's use the Endeavor as the other example, which is a very modular ship, and those modules absolutely change the exterior of the ship. So
Uh,
if the Endeavor can do it, and I mean, okay, obviously far down the future because the Endeavor is like probably going to be one of the last ships they ever build. Um, but
sure that
yeah,
yeah. Check
so
out. I've
if
just
they're planning
sent
on doing
you
it for the Endeavor,
an image that we can talk about where you can literally see that the doors on starboard side are gone in the
yeah,
modular view, and the port side with the catwalk stays there. So I can totally
yeah,
see
okay.
how that can be a docking collar for a small ship to be like rearmed or maybe small repairs,
Why do you really
something like
need?
that.
That's the thing, though. Like, why do you need to dock a ship to rearm it? You don't really.
Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. But how do you
Like,
do
'cause,
transfer?
um, well, they did with the oh, it could be a drone section like the Vulcan, because the Vulcan
There you go.
that's how they do the
Sure.
refuel rearm. They
Yeah,
do drones.
and repair probably as well, right?
Yeah,
Oh man, I
yeah.
can't wait for Vulcan. I think that's gonna be one of my choices.
I'm thinking I'm starting to lean that way too, actually. Like just towards like melting
The
some of
po-
my stuff and because
yeah,
I still have a slot in one of my ship packs that I haven't done anything with. Like I have it as a rock right now, but I don't plan on keeping it like that because
sure.
you know
It's a
I'm
token,
just keeping
basically.
it with low value basically so that I have the ability to CCU it to whatever I feel like. But I've been seriously starting to think about changing that final slot into like the
I think
Vulcan.
that will be amazing gameplay. Like just because it's support,
Yeah.
it's really cool role. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's go into imagination now. A
Well,
bar.
okay.
A bar.
A bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have your little ship to bring.
Forget the Cutlass purple. Do a
Yeah.
Drake purple.
You have your well, we have purple Drake, purple cat actually, right? We have the best in
Oh,
show.
that's
It's
right.
white and pink
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
purple.
I had that. I melted it.
Damn, buyback. Well,
Turned into my
pirate one looks
T2.
better, anyways. To be fair.
Yeah.
So you have your little detachable thing to like go to the station, buy drinks and whatnot, and come back and refill your bar, for example. While next to a bar, you're refitting some Cutlass Blacks, for example.
Where is the docking collar on
There is no docking collar right now.
really?
No.
So do you think they're gonna change that? Where would they
I'm
put
saying
it?
what I'm saying is one of the doors could be a docking collar,
Yeah. But
potentially.
those the front doors there, they open
They open. Yeah.
like on the very front.
That's like a garage kind of for how they portrayed it
Oh,
here.
there's even right.
Yeah,
There's a bike in there.
yep, exactly. You can park like a small. You can. We parked Krugers in that as well, which is kind of cool. So you can get it
That
with
is
the
pretty
Kruger
fun.
inside. You can get with a Nox
Yep.
inside or any Gravlev technically. Um, what else crazy things can we have there? What about data running? Do you think we can have like banks, like
Yeah,
data banks?
there's nothing saying that you couldn't. Like that's what I was thinking because there's the Herald, right? So potentially,
Herald can
like
transfer
you could
into this somehow.
yeah, it's like more of like a data hauler,
Yeah,
like for long distance as opposed to
intercepting or whatever,
yeah,
gathering data,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, there's the MSR as the alternative for that. But if you wanted even more computers or whatever, you could potentially just load every single bay up with them, and you'd probably exceed the capacity of the MSR. Um, and then also size 3 quantum drives, so you have the
This thing is
benefits
quick. Yeah.
of either going real fast or going for a really really long time.
True.
Um,
Like more distance,
so
kind of, because size trees like these things are massive. Um,
yeah,
what do we think about mine laying and bombing? Maybe
bombing, I'd say probably not. I just don't really see how that would work.
we would have
Um,
like a lot of storage, I guess, but it will not. I don't think we'll be able to open the bottom. Like, what about atmospheric?
exactly.
Like you can
And,
fly
and
above
mines,
something.
I don't know.
Probably not. Yeah,
You know my opinion of mines in
sure.
general, so
I think it's going to
um,
be a thing.
here's something to be said about this ship as well, and this isn't really to do with modularity, but um, cargo cargo is supposed to be physicalized, and your loading and unloading time, I'm hoping that down the road depends on just how easy it is to get cargo
Disability, right?
in and out of a ship. And guess what, it's real easy to do that out of
Yep.
a caterpillar
The
because the
side
doors
doors.
just open up. You just have forklifts basically, bang, and pull them right out. Like that's one of the things I would hope would be one of the benefits of a caterpillar as well, is just really
Also
fast cargo
sorting
loading and
cargo,
unloading.
right? You can have like
Yeah.
different modules having like, I don't know, different like kinds of,
Oh,
because we have different cargo
yeah,
now.
potentially, and yeah, exactly. Like potentially with different requirements. So like one module could be like
Can't
heavily
mix.
shielded, to allow you to haul kind of volatile
One
cargo.
can be like cold, like fridge basically or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I
Transfer different
honestly
things.
like I don't have a Caterpillar right now. I've basically CCU'd it to the C2, and like I have a Caterpillar as a loaner, and I have a Caterpillar that's a loaner from the BMM.
I have a Caterpillars and Roller as well, but I
But
like after I test T2, which I'm not interested in having unless something changes drastically. I am
it's
using
just a
my
pretty
buyback.
cargo ship.
Yeah, I'm using my buyback token to get pirate version of it because they changed the pirate skin. For those who don't know, it's not red skin or orange, whatever, with just a Jolly Roger or like skull on the wing. It's actually dark green, black, if I'm not wrong. It's a really badass combination of colors. It looks really
I
fucking good.
I probably won't be starting with a Caterpillar in like my starting lineup, like with my real money ships. But I 100% intend to have some in game.
Sure.
So like down the road when like when we're actually kind of like buying ships to keep in game, I 100% intend on like on picking one up. But like for my starting lineup, T2's prettier.
Sure. I don't intend to have anything. I want to start with a really small ship, like maybe Titan or 300.
I
That's what I'm
well,
doing right now. But
Well, this is the other thing. I think a lot of people think like, "Oh, I have a Hull E. I'm just gonna start out," or like even a C2. Like I'm under no illusions that I'll be flying the C2 when the final reset happens and people are starting fresh, because like
you have to fill it up.
exactly, and like the running costs of it, like I just don't think that like when people start, unless they have bought a bunch of UEC, I don't think that they're going to be playing in their large ships. So that's why I've built my starting fleet up in such a way that I have smaller ships still that I'll be able to use early on in the game without breaking the bank, but but still kind of like um allow me to more quickly progress into
Well,
some of the
you might
gameplay
be
that I
able
want
to
to do
transport someone's vehicle as well, right?
in a C2.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, you're still gonna have to be able to fuel it up for the first time,
Well, not for if you're,
you know?
but also if well, wait, you're wrong because right now what we have is trading gameplay and not cargo hauling. You will be
Yes,
able to be paid to transfer something.
sure, but I still kind of feel like
You might not
that's
have a
risky.
license or something or
It could be a
reputation or something.
licensing thing, but I also think that it like, like you could be taking on quite a bit of risk by fielding one of your large ships if you really have
Sure.
if you
Don't
have
take out
nothing to
what you
fall back
can't
on, you know
lose,
what I mean?
right?
Exactly, right? So like you might take that thing out, with a mission where you got that thing loaded up with somebody else's cargo. What happens if something goes wrong or whatever? They now you don't have the money to fix that ship. You maybe,
Well, hopefully it's insured, but yeah,
sure, but like repairs are going to cost money
for
and they're going
sure.
to cost a lot of money when it's a big ship,
Well, you can sell your
ditto with
whatever.
fuel. Like what if you end up stranded somewhere because,
Listen,
like you underestimated your fuel burn?
just sell your, you know, capital ship. You will have like 10 capital ships anyways, or whatever. If someone has money to buy it anyways. No, I'm kidding. I
I'm
just
really
figured
curious
out.
about how buying or selling ships in game is gonna
Yeah, we
work, but
don't know
yeah.
that. That can be
Yeah.
another imagination.
Yeah.
But it does have technically what's the name? Docking collar. Of course it does. You
Is
detach
it
your well, when you detach your bridge, your escape pod. Don't you
how do
think
you
that?
dock it if you don't have the bridge?
What do you mean?
Well, if you detach the bridge, and how do you dock the
You
caterpillar
have
with no controls?
no other ship can dock to you, no?
Oh, that's what you
And you
mean.
still
Okay,
have
okay.
your control center on the starboard side with
Yeah,
the
but that's
there's a console and everything there.
yeah, but
And
that's for the
fly.
tractor beam.
Uh, I don't think it's only for a tractor beam
I think it is,
because it
but we'll
has an
see. It's definitely
it's
not flight
called
controls.
control. No. You cannot fly, but you can probably like assist docking and stuff like. It's called
Right.
command module.
And I know you hate Drake, but like this is actually another reason why owning a Caterpillar to start may be a good idea because like in theory the running costs of a Caterpillar or any Drake ship, may be less than for example a C2, you know?
Sure, just make this misc and I'm fine. Or Argo.
Well, Well, I don't know. I'm still of the opinion that I really hope we see more ships throughout all the different kind of lineups, right? So
But
it
I
would be
really
sweet
like
if
their Caterpillar because here's a reason. I as
yeah, but you like the Starfarer, that's Misk.
oh I
So
love misc ships, sure.
yeah,
But
so it
here's the
stands to
thing.
reason.
No, okay, so this is very important. So I am by trade, I guess, sailor, right? Technically, because
Yeah,
I've spent a lot of huge chunk of my life, 10 years, on board cruise ships, and I love ships. That's why I play games with ships.
yeah,
No ship in Star Citizen gives me that real feel like Caterpillar does, because when you go to that catwalk and you're open like different sides, it even says like starboard door, port side
yeah,
door. Um, it looks like a freighter already, like especially a river freighter. The
yeah, yeah.
whole layout inside feels like you are in the ship. Um, so I unfortunately don't get that kick from any other ship like this one.
Even the Starfarer?
No, Starfare, I still feel like I'm in the spaceship. That's it.
Don't you dare. Oh, he's gonna. Oh, I dissuaded him. He was gonna run across the back of my chair and try to get back up to the printer. God damn.
Beasts.
Well, this one specifically, he's just like he's a bit of a shithead. Um,
Nice. I love cats.
Uh, yeah. I don't know, man. I think the cat's really sweet, and you're right. If Misk did a version like a mediums or medium large size cargo ship, like
No, but they have Misk. Misk has cargo ships. We just talked
hulls,
about it. Yeah, well,
they have the hulls, but like something more like this, where the
Would they
cargo's
ever
in.
make it? The only company that I see possibly doing something similar is Argo, actually, because they need holding ships for. They are industrial. That's it, right? So this,
Yeah.
and even their colors are like orange and all that. So this could technically be
And
an
actually,
Argo
the
ship, maybe.
interior. Now that you
Yeah,
mention it,
it's
the
full on.
interior is very kind of like yeah.
Oh,
Okay, that'd be cool.
although I have to say, I hope they at some point change, um, like allow you to change your onboard voice, whatever, because that Argo thing, I cannot listen to that shit.
Oh,
That
I've never honestly
rob,
have no idea what it
it's
even
a
is.
very loud, high pitch, sorry, robotic chick,
Huh.
and it's gross. Did you try
Is
ROC?
it as bad as Zoe? Yeah.
So it's like higher pitch ROC,
Oh.
more robotic.
Is it as bad as Crusaders? Because I really hate the Crusader
No,
ship
she's just
ship voice.
bitchy. Oh no,
Yeah,
Crusader.
she
Oh,
sounds
Crusader
like
was such a disappointment.
yeah. I
It's
think
worse than Crusader. Yeah.
Zinyan put it best. He says it sounds like one of the ants from Simpsons. The ones that smoke a lot.
Yes. That was such a disappointment, but it's worse than that for sure. Argo is just the worst for me. The best ones
Well,
definitely
hopefully they do
Anvil
it.
and Misk. Like I really feel nice when I listen to those two voices.
I really like Aegis. It sounds
Aegis
like
is
really
pump
business
up.
like.
Aegis is like,
Yeah.
you know,
Combat
yeah,
assist.
yeah. But you don't want that in your everyday drive. You want that
Well, I'm gonna
missile
have to.
launched.
I'm
Like.
gonna I'm gonna have to because my Retaliator is gonna be my daily driver. My modified
Well, that's why I
Retaliators.
hope you can have an option to change that to some
Modular
other.
Retaliators.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wait. Yeah. All right, I think that wraps it up. What a great ship, man! I think this ship deserves more love. Unfortunately, it's not purchasable at any given time. Right now, it is because it's red, even though it's not. But yeah, we you can buy it now in store for 295. You can buy it once if you beat Pirate Swarm. You can get the pirate version for I think 300. I think it's $5 more, which makes no sense to me, but it is what it is.
No.
And you can buy it in game, not in Levski anymore. I think now it's in
Person.
New Deal. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lorville.
Yeah.
And it's 4.7 something, so almost 4.8 million, which is, if you think about it, it's really not that crazy for the best cargo holder
No.
currently in game.
Yeah. And that's honestly, I'm really curious to see how the ship pricing holds up with Drake ships like that because the Caterpillar should be one of the
Sure.
cheaper cargo ships to get
And to
in
be
game.
fair, right now, like Cutlass Black is 1.3, almost 4 million, and regular Freelancer is 1.6, which is not big enough difference in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I think that'll probably change, but
I think all the prices will change. Yeah.
I think in general, when you're looking at large cargo ships, I'm really hoping that Drake's, the Caterpillar tends to be one of the lower price ones out there.
Sure, but
Just
at what cost? That's what scares me.
oh, we know what costs. We're fully aware. But yeah,
Someone needs to change
um,
this into another ship. Because it's so good. All right. I've had enough. Unless you have to add something, I really this was my choice because I really
yeah,
love this ship. So yeah.
it is a really cool ship, and that's why, like I said, even though I don't have one right now, I fully plan on having one.
Mm,
Um, in game,
getting it in
maybe a
game.
couple.
Yeah. Who knows? What
Yeah,
you
we'll
don't
see.
really need a couple if you can like change things. You just need a lot of modules, right? Well, maybe
But
you can
here's
have
the
more.
thing. Here's the thing. I'm always kind of thinking of like the universe is a big place. Like it's a big place.
Sure.
So, I might basically buy one and keep it on one
Somewhere
side of the
else.
universe
Yeah.
and then have another one, in a hangar on the other side of the universe just so that I have access to them depending on where I am. Like I think honestly, and this is more imagined, but I think that if they really keep going down the path where ships are physicalized and they're at wherever they're at, I think a lot of people are going to end up with their fleets really like spread out all over. Um,
Although we do know that we might start with like 5 systems, which is not that crazy to
Yeah,
pass
that's
through.
true. Yeah,
So
but that's not really what I'm
maybe
talking about here,
years
right? Yeah.
after, sure, like you might
But
need
to
to
see
have
how
an
fast the have to see how fast the Montreal studio
yeah. Your
pumps
fellow
out Star Citizen.
Canadians. Let's
I'm
see.
s-
I have
Yeah, now
faith.
I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that that means they'll have a Citizen Con in Montreal. That'd be sweet.
Good luck. I don't
Yeah,
know
no, I don't think so
the
either, but I hope
states,
so.
but it could be. Alrighty. Well, we're getting to your,
Yeah.
thing.
Um, I really struggled with my zero effort, absolute zero effort science section this week. I really couldn't come up with anything particularly that's particularly exciting about like something that that Citizen does well. I think in the future, if I can't think of
Shots
something good, I
fired.
think I will. I think I will do something that Star Citizen does badly, just to kind of mix it up. But for right now, I think one of the things that is interesting, and this probably isn't going to be a very long topic, is that in Star Citizen, you can't transfer data faster than light, which is why we have the infra running um, the infra running
Ships,
profession, right? And all the infra running ships,
which
which
are
I think
very
is pretty cool
fast.
because yes, they're very fast, but in system, quantum drives do not put you faster than light. I think like the top speed of them potentially is 0.2, so 20% of the speed of light. And then the only way to get from system to system is by traveling through these jump
Wormhole.
gates, these wormholes. Um, so yeah, it fully stands to reason, and the reason why I say that Citizen does this well is because one thing that we've been discovering as we've been exploring quantum physics, and specifically quantum entanglement, is that it looks like, according to the math, that you can't transfer data via quantum entanglement. It's looking like it's an impossibility. Um, it's really difficult to explain why that is. It involves quite a bit of math, and it's honestly way over my head. But if you check the link in the YouTube description, there will be a link to a video that
Tries
dives
to
into the
explain it,
depths of it.
kind of. You might have
It's
to look more deep into it, but still.
Yeah. Let's just say this: if you want to understand uh, why the why you can't use quantum entanglement to transfer information, it's going to involve going down a bit of a rabbit hole, and you will probably end up with a headache. I'll put this in here to start. It's in the chat and Twitch right now, and it will be in the description. But if you want to go into depth on why it looks like we can't actually uh, transfer data faster than light, that's a good place to start ish. Um, but them kind of doing like sticking to that science, that actual science, and pulling that into Star Citizen, I think is a good touch. One, because it helps to kind of make the universe a little bit more interesting.
Makes it bigger for
It,
sure because,
it does make it bigger, exactly. So you can't just like beam a message from Terra to Pyro or whatever, or like some map information. You actually have to like think about selling, like actually sending it. So
it has
sending
to
it
be
by a ship.
crypted though, because if we can decrypt it within the ship, what prevents you from print screening and sending it to another player through other like outside of game stuff? So this will
Yeah,
probably mostly be
it'll be in
PV,
game.
yeah,
Yes, yeah.
PV stuff.
Because let's be honest, people who are doing PvP and stuff like that are going to be on Discord,
Sure.
and there's no way to stop that.
Hmm. But
But what I mean
we
is
shouldn't
like
even try, right? It's
but one of the things they can do is like for actual coordinates, like map coordinates, like map markers, stuff like that. Like that's something that you might have to get off of a you know a drive or whatever that's brought to you. You might actually have to like physically buy that information and download it to your ship's computers. And I do think that's pretty cool. Um, because yeah, like it does hold up with current science, and it'll make it interesting, to actually have like a profession that that you'll be able to kind of like engage in and travel across the universe doing this kind of stuff. It also makes the selling of locations even possible, right? Like I feel like without kind of this attention to detail, the whole concept of being an information broker becomes harder to actually
Really?
implement in game.
That's where you see that? Because for me, information selling this is how little tech sees that. So you have your therapy, for example, and you've found something that you know for a fact is worth currency, but you can't utilize it. Let's say it's a mining and you don't do mining and there's like a huge, I don't know, concentration of continuum somewhere.
Yeah.
So now I have this location and I'm gonna put whatever beacon there, and only I know the coordinates of this beacon, right?
Yeah.
But then I can give the coordinates right to anyone,
Yes.
and
But
I don't
but
need.
again, like you could give those coordinates to anyone, but like unless in if they wanted to be able to quantum travel to that marker, they're going to have to be able to have that marker on their nav computer. How are they going to do that? I mean, because the way it is right now, like if I'm trying to give you a quantum mark, I can't do that, right? Like I can show you a picture, it's right here on Daymar, but like how are you going to get there? Or, if it's in the middle of deep space,
I guess
how
you
are you
would
going
be
to
able
get
to see
precisely
my
that?
markers if you're in the group, or I can, like right now in Eve,
Yeah.
you
But
can
you'd have to be in the
sell
group,
this.
right?
Yeah, you can sell this on markets in Eve Online, literally, and it's used a lot. Like you would find I don't know how to explain this, like a mission. You find a location that starts a very lucrative mission, but to get this information, you can get it with a really small ship, but you sell it to a really big ship because you can't
Right. You
complete
can't
the
actually do
mission,
that
right? You
mission.
can't kill all the rats
Yeah.
and everything that is there. But in order to sell it, you just need to like coordinates are coordinates. So you pick up where your current location, and then you make a textual file with it, and then you sell that chord scripted in the station, and you tell everyone in that sector, I'm selling size 3 whatever
Right. Yeah, yeah,
mission,
yeah.
it's in that station, go and buy it if you want. So you link the contract, so the person who buys the contract from the chat has to go to that station and then pick it up, and that's how they go into it. So I never
So,
thought of this being data running.
oh, it's tied together, yeah.
That would be
Well,
cool
here's the other
actually.
thing,
Hmm.
and here's something that's fun, and I think that this is something that Star Citizen may be taking a step further than Eve. The Herald's job is to intercept data. And
Yes.
again, the reason that it's possible to do this is because in a system, in a star system, it's still faster to beam data via laser, usually is what they'd use in real life,
Something like radio,
from
right? Kind
from
of like on
well,
steroids.
laser's better.
Sure,
Um,
but yeah, like
something
how?
like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And you beam it basically at wherever you're trying to transfer that information. But if someone happened to get in between that beam
Intercept.
and intercept it, they have that information now. And the fact that they built a ship specifically to do that is neat because like I said, I mean, it's faster to send something at the speed of light via laser or radio or whatever. Um, but it's not as
Within one
secure.
system, but it's not
Yeah,
secure. Yeah.
within one system, but it's not as secure. And obviously, I mean, in theory, you could beam that information to another star, but then you're limited to the speed of light, which means that if you're beaming something to a star that's 4 light years away, it takes 4 years for that
Yeah.
information to get there. Which is why you need to kind of like put it onto one of these data running ships and fly it through a wormhole.
Wormhole. So do you
But
think data like Herald, for example, or MSR will have like special sensor gameplay where they can like scan for potential
this is what I think.
tunnels of information or whatever?
This is what I think. Um, we've seen the quanta system, right? You could see how like you how on Tony Z's um whatever his
Hmm.
presentation, Like you could see the dudes moving between planets or whatever, the quanta in their
The standard
simulation. Do you remember
routes,
that?
let's say, of
Yeah,
trades, or
I bet you there's going to be information pipelines as well in
but
systems
it would
like
make
that.
sense because you want to send information from Port Olisar to how the fuck do you do that? Because one is
Well,
it's rotating, right? It's gonna be really tough.
I think they'll probably fudge it, and I think it'll probably just look like a line,
Okay,
and it'll be like the quanta system will manage when data is being beamed from New Babbage to Hurston or whatever,
maybe
and it
certain
might just
time
be
periods,
market
right?
data. Like it might just be like here are the prices of commodities here that we're beaming to Hurston, and intercepting it in your Herald may not even be illegal. It may just be like, okay, sweet. Now I
Shortcut.
have the market data from the trade prices on Microtech. Send it to this ship over here, which is heading to the next system where they're going to sell that trade data,
Mm.
so that somebody the next system over would just basically be able to buy latest prices update or whatever.
Only if these would
Um,
not be like transparent to everyone, though, right? Maybe for some, yeah, I don't know. Like I kind of feel like market prices should be transparent. Maybe with some delay.
I think it'll be delay, and I think the delay will probably be because it has to arrive on a ship.
Wait, but if it arrives through, well, yeah, that's system to system, sure.
Yeah.
But if I have an information in for Tolisar about some, like it already, like the difference between you catching it with Herald and it getting to PO is not going to be that different, right? Because you still have to jump and whatnot, or is it?
It should be way quicker to beam it. Because
That's
like I
what I'm
said,
saying.
I mean, if you're
So
quantuming,
what's the good thing about uh intercepting it unless if it's confidential information?
well, I don't think it would necessarily be confidential. It just saves you the trip of actually having to go there. You know what I mean?
But then you can get it there.
We could. But if you're a herald, then you're just out like, do. I need to collect some data so I can sell it to people. You know, why would you actually go and land at the planet when you could just like intercept a transmission?
Because if it's accessible, it's going to be broadcasted through like Mobiglass or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe if you have to like, maybe you have to have subscription to such information in game, and then instead
Meanwhile,
you
you're
can get
just
it
like
from
pirating
Herald.
it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That'd be cool, actually.
Anyways, yeah. Like I said, I don't really have a lot to say on this one. I just think that
That's
that's
cool.
something that's kind of neat that Star Citizen does right, and that is that you can't transfer information faster than light. Turns out. So check the video in the description if you want a headache about why you can't do that, or at least insofar as we know.
I tried
Um,
listening to the video. I'm gonna tell you, there's a really sweet female voice explaining it, but I didn't understand too much of it. But um,
yeah,
there,
like I
she
said,
tells you what to watch if you don't understand it, because my knowledge about this is very
yeah,
obscure.
quantum physics is one of the most unintuitive fields of science. I feel like because yeah, turns out the way our universe operates at a like submolecular level is just pretty much beyond our comprehension. So yeah, be prepared for some headaches if you want to watch that. But yeah,
Watch at your or listen at your own risk.
we actually have a few questions right
I
now. Do you want to
saw
do
that.
questions before we do gossip or
Let's do gossip first so that I can sort
okay?
it like every time. But we're gonna go through gossip kind of quick. So
Okay.
right now we're just gonna hop over to our Stanton Gossip, which is two of us just watching a lot of YouTube material. Actually, this week quite a lot of YouTube material or other from other sources, and sharing that with you because we might think that is something worth watching or listening to, or something really bad that we disagree with, like last time or the time before. I don't remember.
I think it was the time before.
Yeah. Okay, so my first one was Astropub or Mr. Paul Shelley doing something that he does best.
Yep.
We got javelins in the game. You can see them. it's happening at Jericho Station and whatnot. And there's for a long time before I started playing the game, way back, there's a crashed javelin like derelict site, that on Daymar, on Moon of Daymar. Um, it's kind of difficult to find even when you know where it is. I went there a couple of times and it was really mind blowing to see like scattered
I've still not
across.
found that.
Oh, really? It's really
Yeah.
cool. You should check it out.
Yeah.
Anyways, Paul did a thorough research and explained the lore of how that javelin ended up on Daymar. Really cool thing to listen to. It's about, I think, about 8-9 minutes, but there's a lot of information and a really nice story behind it and how it connects to everything that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Um, Great listen. So yeah, definitely check that out.
all
Um,
of these videos that he does like really help to like add color to the universe for me, because I
sure.
personally don't really like reading all the lore, but I really like
It's
his like
also
documentary style
it's
lore
not that
videos.
easy to find lore. It's very scattered, and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
because we're not there yet. You can't find it through the game within games. So you have to like dig in like old videos or posts or whatever. And Paul does it so well. Like that's why he's our historian, community historian for Star Citizen, which I really love when he does. Um, the other one that this is kind of cool for me because Nubifier did a video, redid the video of Andromeda versus MSR, which are technically two ships that are very like in a similar class kind of. And I thought that MSR will be my favorite ship. When it came out, it turned out to be not what I expected. And I kind of lean towards Andromeda in this race, which is kind of crazy, I know. And it's I'm not gonna spoil anything. He just remade a video because he had it before MSR was out, and now he made one when you can actually play both ships, and he explained why some things are better on one ship and not the other. And in his fashion, it's really consistent. Like it's a very spot on video. Like information with some really nice shots and yeah, good explanation. The next one
Yep.
is yours, right?
It's just Space Tomato did a cover of the monthly report, and if you don't like reading a huge page of text, yeah, I'd check this one out. Again, links will be in the description. Because
In that
Tomato's
sexy voice.
he's, he's got a good presentation, and
Sure.
he's got like good production quality. And yeah, so that's we'll have the link to his YouTube video there. I'd recommend checking him out, because honestly, if you want to really keep up on what is like happening in the development, you can't rely just on the progress tracker and the oh my god, my mind is blanking. The roadmap. Like where the most of that information is, as far as like what's happening in the development, it's in the monthly report. So if you don't like reading huge pages of text,
Deciphering as well, like
then Tomato and a bunch of other content creators usually will do like a summary video of it, and I think that's
choosing.
really. There's another cat. Okay.
Okay, so the obviously Tomatoes video in the description, and then the
Yes.
next one.
Yeah.
Did you watch this? Morphologist doing best time to
Yes.
play first
Yeah, I did.
event.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
just morphologist doing morphologist things. Amazing
Really.
production as always. I disagree slightly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil it too much. I think people are giving too much credit to what's happening right now. And here's the thing. So we have this amazing event happening right now, but why I disagree that this is the best time to start playing is because I don't think this event affects new players that much. Because I have quite a few new players around me, and none of them. I tried to like push them slightly to go and do it. They
Yeah.
didn't. It's very overwhelming. They don't understand what's happening, why it's happening. They're trying to like fly their little ship around, figure out, some
Yeah.
simple tasks like delivering boxes or, something like that. So yeah, I think yeah, like getting an org and doing it with an org, I
Okay,
think it's still overwhelming for a new player.
from from that perspective, when you're a brand new player and you're still just trying to like figure out how to fly your ship around, how to navigate the universe, how to fight, etc., sure, this is way too advanced for that. I guess for me, when I watched the video, I didn't really take it from like a brand new perspective.
Yep.
What I felt he was saying was like, if you are a backer of Star Citizen who doesn't play very often, or you haven't played in a long time, now is a good time to come back, because in for those players, this event is perfect because it really does tend to highlight how far the game has come, which it's come a long way.
It's definitely
And it's
something
pretty
new and
exciting.
exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you brought that up, I had to agree. So depending on how you see this video, you might agree or disagree or both. And then but then at the same time, just guys, it's morphology. So subscribe to
It's
him.
pretty. Yeah.
Every video he drops out is a masterpiece. And he's just a nice guy, man. Like had a chance to talk to this guy a couple of times. He's a super nice fella. Yeah, drop a sub. Check him on Twitch as well. Like he streams and he will let you be involved in these videos as well. So just check him out. An
Yep.
amazing duder. Speaking of the
Yep.
same guy,
He was with Salty Mike on ATC.
yes, he was guesting on Salty Mike's Answer the Call. They actually, I'm not gonna spoil much. Great episode. So two of them having really good conversation, touched on a lot of topics that we were talking about last in our last podcast. Kind of funny, these things come roughly at the
Yeah.
same day,
Yeah.
but we recorded at the same time, so we couldn't have any idea, or they couldn't either. Not that I don't think they're watching our podcast yet, but yeah. um and then getting the
Like,
viewers to talk to Morph
yeah.
is always fun.
Well, this is the thing too. Like Morph, like he has like a certain video persona, which is
It's hot,
cool, and
like, yeah,
but hearing him actually like interact, you get a real sense for just like the type of
down
guy
to
he is,
earth,
and like yeah, really
amazing
really
guy.
cool guy.
I had the
So
I was lucky, I guess, enough for him to host me, well, like 3, 4, 5 times by now, and he would always stay. And the good part of it is I most of us do, but I really follow what he's doing, and we can always chit chat about some of his new videos and my point of view, that why I agree or disagree. And he will always take like, he likes when if I disagree with him, and he will say, oh, that's cool. I mean, I did not even think about it that way and whatnot. So he will talk to anyone. It's just like we see him as this like pillar of of content creation, but actually he's just one of us, playing the game, and knowing how to make it into a very enjoyable experience. If you don't have anything else to add, that's it for
that about sums it
our
up. Yeah.
Stanton Gossip, and we can actually get to questions.
Yeah, we did have some questions this time around. Hey, Jad, good to see you. Thank you for all the questions. um, First question from Jad was: Isn't the front end of the Caterpillar supposed to operate as a docking collar for pirate activities? Um, Not specifically, I don't think, but it was used in that one heist for specifically that purpose. So, according to the lore, there was a legendary heist that happened where a group of thieves identified a very high value. I can't remember exactly what it was, if it was information or some really high value item or something. But they identified what ship it was being transported on. They rammed the caterpillar through the hull of the other ship, and then
Amazing.
exited through that front door, got in, got the stuff, and then got out. And then instead of like trying to disentangle the caterpillar, they all just hopped into that detachable side bridge, disappeared, and nobody ever found them. It's apparently like a legendary heist in um in the
Such a
Citizen
crazy ship
universe.
to talk about. But someone
But
brought to me that the original idea of Caterpillar was actually an assault ship,
yes, it was. Yeah,
which would utilize that, right?
those big things on the front used to be, at least in the original concept, were like large, like size 5 guns basically. And then they decided they didn't want it to be an assault ship and turned it into a cargo ship instead. which is fine. I mean, we've already gone over in depth
True, true,
why
true.
it's fine being the ship that it is. You know, if it does end up being as modular as it's supposed to be, but I don't think it's supposed to be the docking collar. And Chegg kind of confirmed that for me too, because I thought maybe it was um, earlier on the show there. Second question as well from Jad. Thank you for all these questions. Uh, if storage containers can be modular, i.e., the Hull E, what do you think is possible with the storage containers of an Orion? I well, actually, first of all, sorry, I just moved on to the next question. Did you have anything
No,
to
no,
kind
no,
of
no,
add
no.
to
I
this
had it.
question?
That's fine. It's cool. I would
Yeah,
prevent you. Don't worry.
yeah, we're all good at talking
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I think,
Are all
I
the?
think that
I don't think
I
there's
think they'll all be
modularity in
pretty
all of
similar.
that, right? Like,
Oh no, I think the opposite. I think that the pods that are on the side of the Orion will be pretty much interchangeable with
oh really?
the Hull series. Yeah,
I don't
I
know
mean they're
anything about Tehran except for that's going to be like a staple of mining or operation,
yeah.
kind of.
Well, if you look at the ship, you can see similar to the Hull series, there are these like crates basically that come off the side on spindles. Um, and the theory crafting anyways seems to
Yeah,
be that those are detachable like they would be with a hull. So I personally think that it's likely, you know, with these containers being like they call them standard container or standard
unit.
cargo units,
Yeah.
so it stands to reason that these cargo containers would have some level of kind of standard mounting
I mean, people
as
live
well.
in cargo containers
Yeah,
nowadays. Not only that, like now some companies are turning cargo containers into livable space
totally.
for
Yeah,
and it has really high use. It's not like Drake style. It's really important
yeah,
with like AC and all that because you can have your remote office at the construction site or something like
yeah.
that on the ship, stuff like that. Like these things happen actually. It's crazy.
But yeah, specifically with the case of the Orion, yeah, absolutely. I think that that's going to be the thing, right? Like you'll have an Orion
Hey,
that'll basically mine the shit out of stuff, refine stuff, fill up these crates, and
listen,
then
bro.
what?
Miners need a bar as well.
Oh yeah, okay, could just
Sorry, I
convert
had
one of them
to.
over. Well, fair enough. But and actually, I don't know about that's actually not the case. I've worked on a couple mines, and they're very strictly no alcohol.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, yeah, no, I think that's kind of the idea, right? When they're full, you'll detach them, load them onto a hull, put the empty ones from the hull back onto the Orion, fill them up, keep that train going. So yeah.
All right.
Final question is how do you think data running will affect market prices between systems? This is also from Jad. Thank God. Thank you, Jad. um,
Thank you so much for being part of it. We would appreciate it.
uh, how do you think data running will affect market prices between systems, the current prices of goods? I don't
Between
know about.
systems, probably would, right? Because that's what you said. Like the ship will be able to bring that data if it intercepts before
Yeah,
the regular way,
yeah, but
delivers it.
will data running affect those prices?
Yes,
So,
because the demand and like right, so someone will
oh
know
right,
about the
okay, I
demand
see.
earlier, and they will over. So basically, what it can do, if you're using the so okay, so let's put it this way. So the information gets to the data center regular way to Port Toliser. The ship that will regularly bring the data to Pyro or Levski, let's say Levski, jumps through the gate and brings it there. How and then that's the information about the prices. However, before this whole event happened, like on you know timers daily, whatever, if MasoKast has an interceptor, data running interceptor, let's say he picked up the data and he went through the hole like hours before the regular wait happened,
Right.
right? Then this
And it
will
caused like a mass buy of like a
exactly or
particular,
sell.
you know,
Yeah, the price might fluctuate, I guess.
yeah.
Before, yeah,
Okay.
that might screw the whole quanta system actually, which is kind of cool.
Well, the quanta system would be where what actually results in the prices fluctuating, right? Because like if you brought that data over and the data said there's a huge demand for titanium, on the other side of this jump gate
Mm.
more than usual, and all the traders there get that information, including all the NPC traders for that matter, and start buying up titanium.
See, I
Well,
see it
obviously
more.
the prices of that titanium are just going to skyrocket,
Would
right?
you
Like
sell this
as
information to players, and then
I
they
think
will sell before the NPCs get the information from Quanta, which will result in like completely different price? Fuck,
I
this is
guess.
complex. I
Yeah, like
don't know.
if you sold
Good
it direct
question.
to a player and none of the NPC traders there
Yeah.
knew,
He gets to sell it for a
then
good price, but then NPCs get screwed, kind of, right?
the NPCs get screwed because the player traders that have access to this information basically get a jump on that titanium buying before the NPCs even know that they should be buying titanium to ship
Yeah,
to.
yeah. I think it could definitely affect the whole like market
Yeah.
of
I think
multiple
it'll be really
systems.
cool to see. I really like at first I would have been before I saw the demo. Before I saw the demo of them showing off what they can do with that quanta system at CitizenCon. If we'd have been talking about this, I'd be like, yeah, but the chances of them actually being able to pull this off, I'd have been the cynical one. I'd have been like, there's no way they're gonna be able to create a system that advanced, you know what I mean? But now that we've actually kind of seen it working, I could see this
Interesting.
happening. Yeah.
And a lot, a lot of things that can be tested potentially, which because they don't have to explain everything to us. We might have to figure out something like this on our own, which is, a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
anyways, that's about it.
Well, huge thanks for everyone who was watching the stream live. If you don't know, hello YouTube. If you don't know, you can actually listen to us or watch us live on YouTube on MasoKast channel that you can see right under his name, twitch.tv/MasoKast. I also stream on Twitch. Not this though. I play Star Citizen and some other games. Twitch TV /JustCheg. You can see both of our links in description, just like Twitter accounts as well. Yeah, you wanna sign us out?
Yeah. If you guys enjoyed this content, hey, look, hey, oh no, we're getting close to the 4 hour mark, but
No,
wait, what's the actual recording time?
3:26.
Well, okay, that's about average time. Anyways, if you're still here by the end of this, thank you for watching/listening. Thanks for everybody who showed up here for the live streaming as well. If you're catching this on YouTube and you like what you're hearing, if you could throw us a like and a subscribe, we'd super appreciate that. It gives us little warm, fuzzy feelings when we see our numbers going up because we're a brand new channel. But yeah, other than that, I think I covered everything. Oh yeah, that's right. Thanks again. We're at 50 subscribers. That's
Feels
big for
good,
us.
man.
Yeah.
Feels good.
So thanks to people who have subscribed. And yeah, we'll just keep firing these out.
Yep, that would be it. Thank you for listening to the episode 7. See you next week.
3, 2, 1, podcast end.